Has anybody figured out what the TBC hashtag actually is?
Mm, no, I think I usually use like TBC Classic or Classic TBC. I might use both.
I use Burning
Or
Crusade.
WoW Classic.
I
Yeah, there's
still
like
I still use WoW Classic. I feel like
that kind of stuffs up the Blizzard. They should have, when BC launched, they should have said, here's hashtag Burning Crusade's launching.
well they
Not
okay
you know.
they did register too with an
Oh.
icon. If you do Burning Crusade or that was the wrong pipe, or
Mhm.
the Burning Crusade
Oh, nice. Okay.
or Burning Crusade Classic, but those are too freaking long.
Yeah, they are long.
Like WoW Classic was nice. Like why didn't we just go with TBC Classic?
TBC Classic, yeah.
Submit a complaint, Bob.
I just did. Clip it.
Flip it and ship it.
All right. Tweeting out and then Mel, you can tell the guild if you want to.
Did.
Look at you guys with your Kansas City attire.
Hell yeah, dude. It's about to be Chiefs season, man.
Yeah, I'm not really excited about the Eagles, but I am excited about the Chiefs. So hopefully, Mahomes is a good season.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. But everybody's practicing for him now. But I mean, they definitely shored up that problem from last year, that offensive line. But that Super Bowl is gonna go down in history for one of the toughest things to watch ever. Just because the poor guy Mahomes running side to side. He probably ran more than any person in that game.
It was sad to see because if he has just an ounce of time, he's explosive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that they would have won if the offensive line was intact, but if it was intact, it would have been a better game. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure can say that. But oh well. All right. I think we're ready to go.
It's the Anchorman.
It actually works. It actually works. All right.
I'll take your word for it.
This is just for me. Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as BlazzinBob, and today we are joined by Mel, aka Melarina. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Good to hear, good to hear. Unfortunately, we are not joined by Ryan, aka Cognitive Pit. He had some stuff going on in real life, so we wish him luck and whatever comes of that. Can't really say, but hopefully everything's good. We are also joined by our monthly special guest, Melderon. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me being on. I'm looking forward to chatting some WoW.
Me too. Are you sad because we don't have Ryan here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ryan's always got an interesting take on things.
I know.
You don't have to lie. You can be excited that you're here without Ryan. No, come on.
This means you have to talk more.
All right. Well, this show is kind of light on notes, so we don't really know where it's going to go, but we have the right people to just talk. So we're going to do just what we've been doing lately in WoW. We're going to do some news. Then we're going to do maybe some plans for Phase 2. Maybe a discussion topic on the population of WoW Classic and TBC Classic. Is it really all doom and gloom like all the YouTubers or lots of them are having you believe right now? We might get into that, and then we might just get into whatever chat may bring up or whatever we think about. We'll just kind of have to see, but let's get started. I'd like to remind everybody that we always stream live, usually Friday nights, on twitch.tv/mashthosebuttons. If you want to know when we go live, please follow us on Twitter at... Oh my gosh, I just forgot our Twitter. What is our Twitter? Follow us at WC Reloaded. All right. Well, no new reviews this week, which is good because we don't have Ryan here to read them, and he does it so well. So I always feel like we're doing the listeners an injustice when we have to read it over Ryan. So turns out it was good that there's no new reviews, right?
Nah, you know.
All right. Well, what have we been doing lately in WoW? Want to start, Melderon?
Sure. This week I've been taking it kind of easy, actually. It's actually on bench the last 2 weeks from raid because I don't really need anything, and if I do, I'm lower on the loot list for it, so it's only one piece to be bis, and it's the shoulder token off Malgar. But we all assumed we were going to get 2 tokens from the start, so I
Yep.
kind of put it low on my list because I was like, oh, it'll drop. So last 2 weeks I kind of just was on bench, just chilling. Getting people last minute attuned. I don't want to rant on this, but
We can
man,
because holy shit.
as a GM, I got attuned like 2 months ago, and by myself. Like I didn't rely on anyone. I just went out and plugged stuff, and got it done because I'm a completionist and stuff like that. I got all the quests done, and man, when I talk about some people waited last minute, and
Dude, wait for everything too. Like,
yeah,
like Mel and I did it like piecemeal. We got all the quests done really early on. Then if someone's running the heroic, we'd be like, "Ooh, I do need that." We jump in. We only really had to finish last week. We had to finish out an Arcatraz run and a Steamvolts run. Or something. Seth calls me. I don't know. We had to do two runs.
Steambolts and Arcatraz are both of them. One of the
Yeah, and then we just had to kill Mag, but we had all that stuff done. But there were people that were like, "Hey, forming group to do the group quests down in Shadowmoon Valley," and it's just like, what? And they're like, it's the night before the last Mag kill before next week, and they're like, "All right, I got to do all 4 of these heroics now," and you're like, "What are you doing?"
It actually caused some contention because, as you know, last week was the last week for PvP, and I had planned from the jump, like we were going to try as hard as we could for Glad, no matter how hard it was, no matter how bad our comp was, everything, right? And there were some people that were like, let's just say they were wondering where we were, and like how we should be there to help them at last minute to get it tuned.
Wow.
And I'm like, bro. First of all, this is a goal of mine, right? That I wanted to do, and this is how I want to play the game. 2, you are responsible for your attunement, like you are, and and it caused some issues. They've been taken care of, but let's just say that one person is no longer in the guild because of it, and it just like, I'm sorry, man, I have no sympathy for that kind of stuff. Like I don't like, and
Entitlement.
I have plans that I want to do, and I made sure that I was done so I can do them, And we didn't get Glad, but we tried as hard as we possibly could. And I don't want to have regrets going back and like I didn't do it because of this or that, or we tried, we did as best we could. We got Duelist, that's great. For an off meta comp, that's pretty good.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I don't know if anyone's listening that has similar issues or something like that, but I feel like a lot of people waited till the last minute to get these attunements done, and it's not that much stuff. Like it isn't. You could, like you said, knock him out. Like when you can get to it, like they're just running heroics mostly and getting some group quests done. And people were spamming in Shadowmoon Valley all week. Like need one more for this part of the quest line. And I helped who I could when I could, but like when it was time to PvP, it was time to PvP. That's it.
And it's like,
definitely,
it's not like we haven't known this phase was coming.
Yeah, it's not a new game,
like,
right?
Yeah, like we knew it was coming, and we didn't know exactly when it was coming, but we all knew it was coming. Like, don't act like they're gonna be like, well, they didn't give us enough notice, and I'm like, I mean, you had notice from when TBC launched that you would need this done.
This stuff, these guides were out; they were already done, and I don't know, man. Like, I guess some people might think that I'm a little bit harsh on this, but it's just like I'm sorry, I don't have sympathy for people who wait to the last minute on anything.
Well,
it's not just
It's just,
and if you do wait to the last minute, then do it yourself and
exactly
don't tell everybody.
Right.
Yeah, don't expect other. Like, we didn't expect anybody to help us the entire time. Like, different parts of it, I would literally DM tanks, and I'd ask a guild, nobody seemed to want to do something. I'd be like, "Hey, will you come tank this for us? Like, we really need to kill the big green guy in Shadowmoon. We're on it." I did it, instead of like trying to get tanks to come and help me, like for a bunch of stuff for hours. I'd be like, "Hey, today, can you just run over real quick? 15 minutes. We can knock out this part. Well,
Yeah.
and then I'll get the other stuff done, and then maybe we could knock out another one tomorrow or the next day. Like, that's how we did it. And we did it on both characters.
Yeah, or
Right. Yeah,
we'd
you
go
did on
help
two
with a
characters.
dungeon,
Yeah.
right? We'd be
Right.
like, yeah, I'll come heal this dungeon for you because you want this piece. Will you come do this quest for me real fast?
Yeah.
You know, and like, it's like a quid pro quo thing. It's not like I owe you this because
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
I'm in charge of
expected the
you, right?
guild to
Like,
run me through anything, you know?
Yeah. There was a guy actually who started late, who came back to the game late, and we didn't need his main character from vanilla. It was a mage, and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna level a hunter up. He leveled a hunter from 60 to 70, got attuned, and all this by himself before the deadline. And I'm sorry, but if he can do it, you can do it. You like the people who are already 70, like already have their gear. Like, come on,
There's
man.
like two schools of thought. There's the people, you know, probably this way with lots of things in life too. There's the people that, you know, can't do it without you holding their hand. And then there's the
Yeah.
people that just are like, I don't have a wrench, but I bet these two pieces will work as a wrench instead. Let's just, you know, you got the people that
Yeah.
are just going to figure out what to do and get it done.
Right. And you know, even when I procrastinate, like if there's something that I procrastinate on in real life, I don't give myself sympathy because I waited to the last minute. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, tell myself you're an idiot.
oh,
You
yeah.
had weeks to do this and you didn't do it. Like, you
Well-
know, and so I'm not doing something that I wouldn't do normally to either myself or a coworker or anyone. You know, like, you know.
And I
So
don't go to my boss and I'm like, hey, I need you to help me with this. I
Yeah,
waited till the last minute to
exactly,
complete the
right.
project you
because
assigned
then
me.
the boss is like, really? Like, you waited till the last minute? Like,
like,
Uh,
no.
Even,
no.
even Yip waited till the last minute, but he got on, asked if people, like, he's a tank. It does make it a lot
Yeah.
easier, and you know, you can leave it to the last minute a lot easier because you can take care of almost everything that needs to be done. But he didn't expect anybody to come help. He asked if anybody wanted to come. If not, he pugged out the rest of the spots. And he got it
Yeah.
all knocked out. You know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if I was able to, I mean, I plugged it as an enhancement shaman. So, you know, yeah. Anyway, but I don't want to belabor this, but I just think that was something interesting to talk about guild drama and life in WoW and stuff like that, because I know
Definitely.
that we're not the only ones that probably experienced this. So, yeah.
Definitely not.
It's not as bad as 40 people, though. At least.
No.
That's true.
But anything else been going on? You said you got duelist. What was your ending rank?
Well, it would have been a lot. So we got up, the highest we got up to was like 2240 something. The cutoff was 23 something, 2317 or something like that. And what happened was, okay, so our comp is a deep 4 DPS comp that struggles significantly against priest paladin combos. So basically, it's like a 2-3-4-5. It's, if anyone knows Arena, it's usually a mage, an elemental shaman, a warrior, a priest, and a paladin. And usually, what happens is, if you don't provide significant pressure early on, they'll bop and pain suppress the elemental shaman, and then he just turns into a cannon, because you can't. It's very hard to dispel the bop if there's a pain suppression on top of it, because pain suppression also suppresses dispels by like 60%. And then on top of that, paladins, anything they provide has a buff defense too. So it's like a 20% chance you'll get that dispelled. But in that time you're trying to dispel it, he just like one shot someone.
Is mass
Yeah.
dispel what you use for that?
So mass dispel or purge, right? So I'm a shaman. Purge a single target and removes 2 things. Mass dispel removes 1 thing from the area of effect. But regardless of what spell you're using to remove that, it still has an 80% chance to not dispel because of the pain suppression and the bop. So we had a really hard time with that type of comp. The reason I went into that is because we had to fight really hard to get out of that meta. The meta that the priest paladin was about 2K to 2200. After that, you got some more interesting comps. You still had 2, 3, 4, 5s, but they were much more rarer. We worked our way out of that meta, and that's when we got up to the 2200s. We beat what's his name's comp, Sam I Am, and those guys. We beat them once.
And you also
so
beat S-Fan too, I heard.
Yeah, we beat S-Fan a couple times. So, and then we had a really bad night, Which happens because like someone's not into it, someone's having an off night, and we went down to 2K,
Oh,
and we
damn.
never got out of that hole. So we fought really
Damn.
hard to get out of that hole. We went up to like 20. We went up to like 2040, 2050, went back down to 2K, back up to 2040, back down to 2. It was like a slingshot, and we just kind of ran out of time. We're like, listen, guys, 300 points is going to be a little bit. I think if we didn't play that off night, we would have had a really good shot. But you learn hindsight, and you can't go back and be like, let's change it. You can't. All we can learn is from let's go in the next season with some more understanding about how the metas work and how the comps work. But I just want to say, like, shout out to AL, Navic, Subspace, and Def Camp, because like myself and Subspace, we never pushed before, ever competitively in PvP. The last time Def Camp pushed competitively was in TBC.
Same for me.
I mean, Navic was the only one who was a multi-glad. Ale was close a few times. So, like, I gotta say, for an off-meta comp, and for a couple of us who never even competitively played Arena, I'm really proud of what we got to. Like, that's really good. I mean, going against these really, really good players, multi-glads, and S-Fan getting carried by multi-glads. Like, it's because he was, and it's like, it's good to know that we were able to beat some of those teams. I don't know how well
awesome.
I don't know how well our comp's going to work next season, because the resilience is going to be higher, and we kind of work on that shock and awe, kill fast. I don't know if it's going to be as quickly now because resilience is up higher, but we'll try. We'll see how it goes. It's still good for points either way, right? So 5s awards higher points. So, yeah.
Yeah, Mel and I are actually finally probably going to push, not to Glad, but going to try to actually get, 50 games in a week on twos, and try to actually progress a team into like the 1800s type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna try. I think this season we're gonna try for 5s. If it doesn't work, I know that Ale and myself and Def Camp want to do a Turbo Cleave in 3s, which is Enhancement Warrior Priest, which is actually a pretty good comp. It's not like RMP, it's not like Rogue Mage Priest, but it's like, I'd say it's a B tier comp, could be an A tier comp. And I know what's this? I feel so bad because I always forget people's names. It's the shaman. Oh God, he plays a lot of Arena. Anyway, I'm not gonna forget his name. He plays retail. He plays. Anyway, I'll think of it probably as we're like talking in an hour about what his name is. But anyway, so they had a lot of success with that comp in 2s in season 1. So we're gonna try that Turbo Cleave in season 2 and see how it goes.
Does he have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Does he wear those 80s glasses at his YouTube channel?
Oh no, not you're thinking of Holderheck. No, this guy's been around for a long time. Mostly from retail, and just started playing Classic when it came out. He has a Twitch channel.
Sea-Doo?
I don't know. Sea-Doo, thank you. God, that's yes.
Thank you, chat.
Yeah, Sea-Doo had a really good Turbo Cleave going this season 1, so we're gonna try and see how it goes in season 2. It's just sad because I forget people's names. It's not because I don't know who they are or consider them not good. I just forget because there's a lot in my head.
I do too.
Yeah, I do too. There's this warrior I watch. He's usually got like a few hundred people in chat, but I can never remember his name. I have to go back to like the chat where my guild leader told me to check out his channel to get back to his channel to remember like his name. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a lot of fun. Am I sad? Of course I'm sad, but at the same time, like, I was like, damn, we did really well for like I know my first time ever in that world. I never played Arena competitively. So
it's probably more defeating that you were there and you had the off night and you went down, right? Like, I think that's like, I think if you would have gotten to where you guys ended and that was like close to the high that you had gotten, it'd feel less like defeating. But to be honest, that's just how Arena goes, right? Like, you go up, you go down, and next time you guys have an off night, you just quit earlier.
Yeah, some nights are tough too, because like you'll start getting the same teams, especially the higher you go. I remember we were doing all of our fives on Mondays, and we were always gaining points every time. We're like, dude, we freaking rule, man. We have these crappy comps, and we're still going up 100 points every week. And then we try it on a Wednesday, and we're like, oh.
Yeah.
The Wednesday crowd is different.
So that's what happened to us too, is like the last 2 weeks, we're like, let's play on nights we don't normally play. And we weren't used to who we were playing. We weren't used to, and the whole thing I was saying about that priest paladin combo, we worked so hard getting ourselves out of that meta. And then when we got back into it again, we're just so hard countered by that comp.
So defeated.
That it's
hard to motivate yourself to get back out, you know?
Yeah, when you're a purely physical DPS comp and someone's bopped and you can't dispel the bop, you're just sitting there with your watt in your hand and getting blasted by an elemental shaman, and that's what happens. Yeah, but elemental shamans are so dangerous in fives.
Yeah. I think I got blown up by an elemental shaman and an enhancement shaman at the same time in fives in literally
it was 2 elementals.
0.02 seconds.
Well, elementals,
no, 2 enhancements. It was they just melee blew you into high.
Yeah, I was like bear dead.
Oh yeah, you're in bear. You got to bear. Yeah, if you're stuck in that human form, we'll eat you for breakfast. Same with priests. We just purge everything they have on them and just kill them. It's
I think I got to bear when I was at 10 health though, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And
shamans are just dangerous. They're so bursty. Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. Sorry. I didn't even get there to help or do anything or try to fear. I was just it was so fast that there was just nothing to do.
Yeah, those moments when you just look at it and you're like, well, all right. I shouldn't have stood there, apparently. That was a bad idea.
Yeah, you live and you learn, right? I've learned so much this whole season, about what my role is, about, I never played Enhancement Shaman Arena either. That's on top of it. I have played Arena before, non-competitively, as a DK. Very, very different role.
Oh, very different.
I mean, a DK, in some ways it's similar. You're still a disruptor as a DK, but your sole purpose as an Enhancement Shaman is to white hit the target, use your shocks on a healer as a focus target, focus shock, heal, focus shock, heal, focus shock, heal, bloodlust totems. So you have all these little things you have to kind of worry about as you're white hitting a target. You don't want to use shocks on the target unless you're going to get a kill. You want to shock a healer, and then you have to be turned in the right direction to shock the healer. There's just there's so many, and fives is a cluster F. You guys know
it really is.
It's so much fun though. Yeah. I think it's fun because of that. I think fives, and people tell me I'm wrong, but I think fives is much easier than 2s or 3s. For someone who plays
as a
like
warrior,
me,
Bob.
True.
Yeah, as a warrior, it is easier. As a little druid, there's so much to think about it in fives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's I gained so much appreciation for people who are really good at PvP because I understand more, because I can identify afterwards probably 50% of the things that I should have done. Right? There's this whole other 50% that I just have no idea. But
right.
There's probably 50% of the things I didn't do that I could identify, and I'm like, yeah, I should have, rooted that warrior. I should have cycloned that healer faster. I should have, gone around this pole, or but there's so much to think about at one time. And I always say I'm a really good druid healer when nobody fucks with me. If nobody touches me, I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah.
Second, 2 different people are on me and I have to worry about surviving and doing all these other things. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you're also kind of, it's not easy for a druid to play well in fives. 2s and 3s, they're so good. In fives, because of the massive damage that comes out in fives, druids have a hard time keeping up with that. So kudos to you for playing druid in fives, because it's not easy. You don't see many comps higher up with druids, to be honest. So it's
I mean, fives for us is really only been about points. We have 10 people on the team, and we try every week to get all 10 people the points. And so it's really we rarely play any more than 20 games tops, and oftentimes less than that, because we'll do 10 with one group, and then another group just needs 33%. And so try to get them in, and it's really good points. But I think
got Ale on his pally.
Yeah, Ale's been a fun time to play with.
I'm sure just sits in there and shakes his head at us. We're like, Ale, any advice?
He's
well,
like, yeah, I don't
mean...
know.
Yeah, I was very quiet.
Yeah.
But once in a while, he chimes up with something really, really good, but he's
Well,
usually really quiet.
In the
I feel like
fives,
he
he's
knows,
been
though.
quiet, though. In the fives, he's
I
been
feel like he
quiet. He
knows what we
doesn't
should
know a
do.
lot of people. In like threes or twos, when we haven't messed around at twos, but in threes, when we mess around, it's just me and one other person. He's usually very talkative. It's just I think the fives, there's so many people he doesn't know.
Oh, maybe yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, yeah, but man, Arena. I think that was the saving grace for me in phase 1 because it was like otherwise it was kind of boring to be honest. Like,
oh, for sure. If you didn't PvP, I feel like you were bored by.
Oh yeah, raid
after a
logging,
month.
definitely.
Yeah.
But I've never had a problem with raid logging. I think it allows you to play other games. I know everybody wants all this content, but I mean, I just want to be done with everything and not have to log in if I don't want to. So,
yeah,
raid logging's never
I want to log
bothered
in
me.
because I want to log in, not because I feel like I have to log in, right?
True.
And I think
You're
that's the
absolutely right.
difference. Is they can add chores and stuff like that you can make money on, but do I really want to do that? Probably not. Probably rather do something else.
I'm pretty excited about the dailies coming up because I feel like it's going to be PvP heaven, and I'm going to do the dailies on my PvP character, and so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's why Melderon's excited about it too. All of his world PvP he's going to get to do.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for all that world PvP that's non-existent on my server.
I am getting a little nervous though, because for one of the later topics we're going to talk about later about is TBC really truly dying? I was looking at all the numbers and holy crap, Whitemane is down to 37% alliance. Like we are bleeding alliance off of the server. It's now 62% horde.
I'm looking at it. It says it's 51.4% alliance, 48.6 horde.
You're looking at classic.
Oh.
Yeah. I put both of them in there because that's going to be part of the discussion later. But yeah, the TBC one, we're down to 37.7% population on the server. So, but we have a lot of people that enjoy.
Still excited about dailies?
Well, we have a lot of people in the guild that enjoy world PvP, and I think we'll be able to make 5-man groups for the stuff pretty easy, and like have a good time PvPing while we're getting dailies done. As far as doing the boss thing, I don't think I'm going to mess with that hardly at all, but because it's going to be widely camped and probably owned by Horde. But we might raid it quite a bit, to try and mess with them. But that's only fun because we have PvP characters that are decked out in PvP gear. I wonder how much fun it's going to be for people that aren't like that. They're going to be like, this sucks on PvP servers.
Yeah. I'm just looking at sorry, I was looking at the thing while you were talking about it.
No, I am too.
It's interesting. How do you get back? Oh, Bob?
No, Bob was muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in a later segment. So if you got thoughts about that, I got a few thoughts too. But anything else? Any new alts? You make your boosted Shambi on Whitemane yet?
Not yet. I do want to play on Whitemane.
We've got Ale.
So last time I talked, I had my hunter to 70, and my druid's now 65.
Nice.
Yeah. So once I get him up, and get him, I'm gonna get him maxed out on alchemy. My plan is to eventually get my mage up because I want to have an enchanter for wrath, but I'm not gonna. That'll be later. So once I get this druid up, I'll definitely consider rolling a shaman on Whitemane. Right?
Whitemane. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you end up starting from 0, let us know because I've got a level 28 rogue. I'm just gonna work up with Mel. She wants to work up a hunter, and so I think I'm just gonna go back.
No.
Do all those quests with her.
Mel does not want to work up a hunter. Bob said if you could work another character up, what would you work up? And I was like, I don't know. I want to kill things, but I hate the mage. I have a level 58 mage that I just left at 58 because I hated playing mage. And then what else do I have? I think that's it. But I have 2 healers already, and I feel like having a druid and a priest, I'm like, The only other one I would want is a shaman, but I feel like I should do something other than heal, or I'm just giving myself way too many heal options.
Yeah.
And hunters sounded the most appealing.
Hunter's fun.
I've never played a DPS except for the mage.
I just figured I'd take that 28 and just like do all the quests with her because you get like the full rep and everything for it. And I'm going to be a rogue in Wrath, so if you work it up, you might let us know, and maybe we'll come do some quests with you.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down because I really want to. Yeah, I really want to experience the Alliance side. What do you guys need as far as shamans are concerned? Like any shaman, or is it certain kinds of shaman you need?
Any shaman.
In our raid or in PvP?
Either.
In our raid, I mean, we're just taking every shaman, but of course, we like having elementals. I guess we've got 2 elementals at the moment, 1 enhance and 1 resto. That's what we have. Wait, we have 1 more, don't we? We might have 1 more. I think
you have 5?
I think we have 4. 2 elementals.
An enhance and a resto.
Yeah. I guess
4.
we don't have. Yeah, I guess we.
We've had like a couple that have cycled through, and then we have like some that switched from another class to go shaman because we needed more shaman.
Yeah,
so they also have a geared other alt.
So do you need another enhance for like the hunter group, or do you need another elemental for another caster group? Just out of curiosity.
I think
I don't know what your groups look like.
Another enhance would probably be probably be more worthwhile. But I mean, bloodlust is
bloodlust in general.
In general the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it heroism?
Right.
Yeah.
I have to get used to people calling it hero.
I still call it lust, and everybody gives me crap, but it was called lust in Warcraft 3, so sorry. And
True.
Every time I played,
no excuse
with a chamois was as Horde, TBC and on when I was Horde. So I didn't even know that there was a different name for it until TBC came out, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Heroism?
Also, the sound's so weird for to me. Like that bell chime or whatever it is when you guys pop lust.
Yeah, instead of
yeah.
It's very alliance-y.
Yeah.
And yours is very hordy, right?
Yeah,
It's like Yip always does like for the alliance, and it's like horde, right? It's like that's so much more intimidating in the horde side. But it's fine. We have shaman now, so it's good.
Eventually, I like to do that, Bob, for sure.
I can go into what I've done this week, Bob.
Let's do it.
Well, I haven't really done much, so that's why I said I could go. We raided. I did raid on my alt and my main, both Kara.
Actually.
And did I? See, this is what happens. You ask me what I did this week, and my mind goes blank, and I'm just like, I don't remember what I had for lunch.
You PvP'd a ton. We've done a ton of heroics to help people get attuned, to get me my nether for my upcoming engineering goggles, to get me the last of my badges for my bloodlust brooch, which I finally got on BlazzinBob. Raided on both characters. Funny enough, we had the fastest Kara raid ever, and one of the slowest in weeks ever. Yeah, and surprisingly,
we had the fastest one on our alts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
a real slow one.
Yeah, it was literally it was like an hour and 22 minute run on our alts.
Nice.
And I was like, it was a melee cleave group. Like there was no waiting for drinking at all. And then
yes, which I love as the mana person in that group.
I ran Fury and was second overall DPS on everything, right? Trash, but then was 6th on damage on bosses. But boy, you could just blow up trash. And I'm not super geared, but you can blow up trash regardless of your tank, which is nice. Whereas with a lock, if you're not with a pally, you can't be throwing seeds out willy-nilly. No. But as a Fury Warrior, as long as you're in all plate, you can be throwing stuff out, and you can live a lot of the times. You do die a lot, but you still live a lot. And so we just melee cleaved all the way through it. I mean, we were just killing everything. And we got done, we were like, wow, that was fast. And then we did it on our mains and only had one tank, and it was Yip's new bear tank. and you couldn't do AoE. Like, we had to stop and drink all the time. It was so hilarious because we had so many mains, but we struggled and like wiped a few times. Like, it was one of the worst runs we've done in a long time. I don't know if it's people being complacent or what,
Yeah.
but
Well, I mean, we also did. Okay, I'd like to, set the record straight here because Bob's like, this was just so easy. It was great. Yeah, nobody ever had to drink except for the healers. And then all the healers are half mana, and you pull all these mobs, and everybody's taking damage, not just the tank anymore. So this is not like the easy, like, hey, this is great, no problems. No, we had our problems. We had to let the tank die a couple times because he wouldn't stop and wait for us to drink. But you live and you learn, and that's the choice you make when you pull and don't notice that I have no mana.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was on my druid. Actually, my priest, I think, does just as well at mana regen as my druid. But
You got two really solid healers as two 270s. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very hard when I do like 25 man on my priest, and then I go to Kara on my druid, and I'm like, shield, nope. Life bloom. Oh God, which one? What am I playing right now?
Yeah. I could see that getting confusing, especially the same role. Like,
yeah.
But it's been a good time. I've tried a whole bunch of different comps in Kara, and this is the first time I tried Fury. Fury's the only one that's actually made sense in Kara so far. I've tried dual wielding arms spec, which
is new. I heard about that.
Yeah, I tried it. I didn't think it was great. I've tried, using a two-hander arms PvE spec. I didn't like that. And now I've tried Fury. Fury was actually really fun. If I do it again, I'll definitely need a weak aura to keep up whatever it is, not Bloodlust or whatever that 30-second buff you need to keep up. That's basically 250 attack power. You know what I'm talking about, though. But that one I struggled with. Like, I don't know how much uptime I actually had on that because I wasn't doing a good job. I'd hit at the start of the fight, then I'd be going to be like, when did I last hit that? Crap. So a weak aura for that would help a lot. But I mean, I was under geared and doing pretty damn good. So I assume that geared Fury warriors are just slapping Kara.
Yeah, apparently in Black Temple they start to like explode. I guess because of armor penetration or whatever.
Pen and then more expertise options probably too.
Expertise, yeah. Yep.
So that'll be cool. Who knows? Like it's a thing where possibly towards the end, as long as I keep up gearing PvP wise, it could be an okay transition to move over to my warrior as the main, because I haven't really enjoyed the lock as much as I thought I would. I really haven't.
Yeah, it's because of like kind of repetitious nature of it. Like it's because correct if I'm wrong. Like for bosses, it's like keep up whatever curse you have, and then what Shadow Bolt, right? Like that's it.
Basically, like keep up your curse. Make sure to keep Immolate up, and then Shadow Bolts, and then just for any class, just knowing the proper times to hit trinkets, consumables, and things like those are really what sets you apart from other people. Like if you're someone who just hits your trinkets and everything as soon as the fight starts, and every time they're up on cooldown, you're doing it wrong on a lot of fights. So So like knowing when to have Doom go off and stuff like that based on your kill times.
Better than not using your trinkets at all.
True.
Maybe some people forget to use their trinkets when they're up.
I don't know how much does that matter for healers, like to use.
I mean, it depends on the trinket. Like, there's definitely trinkets that you want to use at a certain time, or fights that you want to save a trinket for. Like, if it's going to increase your healing, there's certain fights that you want to save that for.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing Prince at the end, like phase 2 is when you want to save your increased healing trinket for. But in general, like it's not going to make that much of a difference unless you pop it when nobody's taking damage or you don't need to massively heal.
Yep, there's something else that I did, but I have to save it for the news segment because literally it's the only news we have this week. But so I will talk about that later.
Let me think if there's anything else I did. Nope, I got a couple mana thistles. We got our Happy Meals back.
Yeah, for
Super
PvP.
cool.
Happy Meals, do you guys call them? The PvP?
Yeah.
That's what we call them. I'm sure it's kind of like Walking Dead. Everybody has a different name for the walkers, like all their different shows. They like call them the empties or call them groaners or
yeah.
Everybody's got their own name, but our great guildy Stoof came up with Happy Meals and it stuck. Like everybody was using a different name, but when she said Happy Meal, I was like, that's the winner.
Well, thanks, Mel, because now I want McNuggets.
It's so satisfying. Even though I rarely get anything like wonderful, it's just so satisfying to like.
It's nice, and it's
I
like
got a little.
It's like 2 to 3 gold too. You know, it's like, hey, I just paid for a mana pot right there. You know,
and it covers your it covers your repair for PvP because you do get some repair costs. That's nice.
And then sometimes you get some
like
really
2 to
good
3
stuff.
gold, and then sometimes you get good stuff too. Like sometimes you get Magcar bread, which is the stupidest.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get.
Hold on. Before you go on to that, though,
battle tokens.
Let me tell him this: you get Magcar bread, but then you get level 70 or level 65 water. Why don't you get level 65 food? Sorry, didn't mean.
Yeah, we don't care about you guys enough because nobody ever eats their food, right? Who's ever sitting down to eat their food? No, they're sitting there yelling at the healers like, "I need a heal. I need a heal." Yeah. Not Bob. Even as a lock, he's like, I'm gonna take all of my mana to give me all of my health. I always
have food.
The worst. You just tap constantly and you're like, oh my god. Yeah.
I tap to half and half, and then I eat and drink both at the same time.
There you go.
It's not my fault that every healer always heals me up, and I'm like, okay, guys, you're gonna have to drink anyway. Like, that's why I did the half and half thing, so we could drink together. But you just healed me up, and now I feel like I should tap again and re-drink.
Tap again, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. Like when we're in a fight, I don't know what is like life tap damage or mana, whatever it's called, and what is like real damage, right? And then like as I went through, and then on Saffron in Classic, I was in the Warlock group for some reason, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. This is a bunch of BS. How did I get in this all Warlock group to heal all of these little
jabronis,
shitheads that are life tapping the whole time?
When are you supposed to life tap during a rotation?
Oh man, dude, I've been messing with that all through TBC. So like, there's certain fights that are awesome. Like Mag is awesome because like you literally get through mana and then you get bounced around. You're like tap. Nice. Unless you tap too much and then the ceiling drops, you're like, shit, I wasn't supposed to tap that time.
Yeah,
crap.
Dead.
But but like,
it also gave me a lot of anxiety as a healer when you guys first started doing that, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, they're dying! They're dying!" And I'm like, "No, they're not. They're killing themselves."
When you're in a fight where there's not a good opportunity to tap, boy, it's tough because like sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do a mana pot or a rune instead, and then you're trying to tap. Basically, when you can't get stuff off or when you're absolutely out of mana, and then I'm only going to tap once. But say, like, I'm on a fight, my trinket's almost up. Or say you're on Prince. Like, Prince is a weird one where he does in Feeble. So if you don't tap a good amount before that hits, you're like, crap, now I just stand here twiddling thumbs. You know, like, because you just can't tap, you can't heal up, you can't take anything to do anything. And so there's just different methods. But if it's a straight, like, patchwork situation, I'm going to tap, cast 3 things, tap, cast 3 things, tap, cast 3 things, tap, cast 3 things. And I'm not going to tap it all at once. But on certain fights, it really works out to tap all at once and just really pound it.
Yeah, like Melderon is a good example. Yeah.
Okay, so now can I ask, have you ever killed yourself on Enfeeble on Prince?
Luckily, you can't kill yourself with tap. You can only kill yourself with the
Inferno.
Yeah, whichever one.
Hellfire. Yeah.
I can't believe I do that.
So yeah, it won't let you because every warlock would die almost every time they got rezzed because they're going to try and tap immediately. So if tap could kill you, literally you'd res a warlock. Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
They would do that at least once every raid night when getting rezzed. So luckily that's not an option for us to kill ourselves like that.
I almost wished it was.
But I have tapped when I had early on when I didn't realize what the Magtheridon fire was. I didn't realize you got a debuff on that. So you should not be tapping. And I tapped and then died because I tapped, so there are definite things where.
And then you blame the healers?
Nope. I never blame the healers. I always know it's my fault.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, we've been doing a lot. I've got everything ready for. I've been doing a ton with engineering. I got my boots made, so now I can do the whole jump at the start of Arathi Basin where I do the boots and then the parachute cloak, and then I actually get to Smith before Horde, which is actually really huge at the start of a game. If you could push them back and have them just back from the flag instead of where it usually starts there at the flag and you're back right around that house. But if you could just push them back and then, not intercept, but intervene back to your team, then all of a sudden your team's at the flag. And it doesn't sound like much, but it's a huge deal.
It's closer for Horde. Blacksmith is. I feel like the road is closer for Horde, right?
I believe it actually is.
We get to the flag before you guys. You guys are usually a good 30, 40 yards away from the flag before we get there. Yeah. But that's good. That's interesting. You're right, Bob. That is a really effective strategy because you wouldn't be surprised. You probably won't be surprised, but people do not fight on nodes, man.
Oh my god,
dude!
They don't. Just
And
nothing's
what sucks?
more infuriating. Do you know how many times I've been able to cap a flag when there is a huge fight going on?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I know.
What sucks is that it's a problem that compounds on itself. Okay, see. So, I don't like to fight on roads, but sometimes I'm fucking forced to because these assholes are just standing there hitting me and slowing me. I'm like, okay, I could either just die slowly walking to the node or I could just get off and fight them. And then there's these guys that are these idiots fighting on the road. I'm like, dude, pay attention, please. But it's just
and it's
you
different
can't
on
help
fighting
it
on the
if
road
other
when you're
people do
winning.
it.
Fighting on the road when you're winning is great because you're keeping all those people on the road, right? And that's usually when somebody says it, right? But
that's what I do. Say your team has blacksmith, and I'm going to lumber mill or something to try to get that, and I see 5, 6 guys coming towards blacksmith to get it, and I know the blacksmith's weak. I dismount and slow them and put an earthbind down, and all 5 of them go, "Let's kill this one guy," and then that gives us a good 30, 40 seconds to de-blacksmith up.
Yep.
So there are circumstances where road fighting can be good. It's just when you go into that mind-numbing, they just fight each other for no apparent reason, that's bad.
Yeah, and
it's when you're going to try to cap lumber mill and you've got a big group and you stop at this other big group and you guys are both fighting and nobody's just gonna go get the flag. We're just gonna sit here and hang out.
Yeah, but you're right, Bobby. You can get polymorphed by some mage, and you're like, well, what am I gonna do? I could sit here and let him kill me, or I can kill him. You're gonna want to kill the mage, right? But people are like, well, yeah.
These idiots fighting on the road. It's okay, well, you have to just look at every situation. Yes, I get it. Yeah. If there's a huge fight going on the road, that makes no sense oftentimes. But it's just it's something that compounds on itself that drives me nuts. And the thing about Arathi Basin that just drives me nuts, that makes me like Eye of the Storm more, is that they don't have that spinning factor because you just always have too many people spinning, not enough, nobody spinning. And it's just this weird thing. Whereas if you just have it where you fight and who wins the fight is going to win the point, it just feels better.
Yeah. But when I first said people
has its own problems, though.
It does. Yeah. But it's usually the rotational. People just rotate. Then it's just
okay,
back.
Is
that's usually what happens.
And nobody wants to guard. I was in this
Ever.
one. I was super geared. Started out the game just destroying everybody, but then ended up like everybody ran off, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll guard the mine because everybody left. So I'm guarding the mine. The game's going on. Unfortunately, like only one or two people came to the mine. I dealt with them easy. Like it's so fun to like if like you are guarding now. If you use Noggin Fogger and turn into the skeleton, it pisses rogues off so bad. It's so much fun to do because they can't sap you.
Wait, that counts as being undead?
It counts as they can't sap me.
I didn't know that.
It's
hilarious.
hilarious.
As a shaman, I just go into Ghost Wolf and I get the same effect, but I didn't know Noggin Fogger did that.
Yeah, I didn't until a couple weeks ago, and I still haven't confirmed it because I haven't like been a rogue and been not able to do it. But I've had rogues that are in there, and spies like stealth character around. I pop the Noggin Fogger, and then I don't ever get sapped. I've never seen myself sapped in a Noggin Fogger too.
I did not know that.
So then everybody's complaining at the end of the game. They're like, well, DPS wins games, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I would have DPS'd, but I was forced to guard because nobody wants to guard. And they're like,
the same thing with
only
me as a
people
healer.
that have no gear should guard. And I was like, well, tell the people with no gear to stand here then, and I can run off. But I can't.
Yeah, but also the people with no gear aren't going to be able to fight off the rogue that comes to take the mine, and then they're just going to take it. Like, I just don't
it
understand
depends on the class.
mentalities.
Rogues do really good guarding, but oftentimes don't want to do it. They want the flashier thing, which is stealth capping, which is really fun. But
it is
rogues
fun.
are awesome guarders. I mean, they're great at guarding.
They are. Warlocks and hunters are amazing because they can. If you get sapped, you can have your pet attack the guy so he doesn't get the cap. So they're really good. But shamans the same
thing. Druids are pretty
thing.
good because you can track humanoids in cat.
Yep, and you can't be
like,
sapped in cat either. Sapped in cat either. Yeah.
And I can sit there, like, especially like Warsong, where I can like be with the flag carrier and I can see if anybody's coming up, unless they're stealth. But I can see if they are and how many. I can hover over them and see what their name is. Like, just like their dots are on the map, just like my alliance fellow teammates are on the map.
But yeah, that whole tangent came about from me talking about the boots and the parachute cloak. It was kind of sad to me, though, to find out that that's an awesome way, but it still doesn't beat someone with a riding crop.
Really?
Yeah, because I would beat everybody, but then this one guy beat me, and I was like, oh, riding crop. And then he might be using he was probably using everything he could for speed, but he's the only guy that ever beat me doing that trick. So...
Yeah, I use crop on.
You know what? No, never mind. It was a paladin. I just realized that. Yeah,
whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah, it was the okay. That
Crusader?
Does crop and Crusader stack?
I don't know if it does or not, but I've done it a good dozen times now, and I've only been beat by that one person, and they were just barely ahead of me. But it's still fun to just like speed off at the start and jump and then like fly. I have killed myself, though, because the parachute cloak only lasts 10 seconds. So if I speed run off a cliff, like, the parachute cloak just doesn't last long enough for when I'm in the air. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, because you keep the same speed while you're in the air. So you just keep going way too far, and then you're just dropping over nothing. But it's been a really,
Wildhead
really
says
good time.
Crusader Aura does not stack with riding crop.
Yeah, that'd be really OP if it did.
Yeah, so he might have just been using Crusader Aura, which is really fast.
Yeah. I use crop mostly in AV to get up to the tower faster, and then I take it off because I want my PP trinket on. Yeah, I'm assuming Crusader Aura does stack with their Ret Pally thing too, so I'm guessing that they're just really fast. Yeah. Like Rets with it too. But yeah, so... Yeah, just been doing a lot of PvP, been doing a lot of dungeons on both characters. I did not get all of my stuff for my Warlock for the fire res. I'm going to try this weekend, but I kind of relaxed a little bit on it when I found out 2 other people in the guild already had all of the gear. And so I was like, well, I'll be back up and just hold on to the badges in case one of them can't come sometime or something. But why buy it all unless I know that we're going to use it type of deal.
And I've been hearing
one
you
other
don't even
guild
need a
thing.
warlock now.
One other guild thing. So we set up our guild bank. Kim set up our guild bank. He's our treasurer now. And he's great. He's wonderful. But it's hilarious. I've looked forever. I thought my add-on wouldn't let me get into the guild bank. I thought it was like a tab on my regular bank. And I was like, where is it?
Hilarious.
Yeah. And then I finally figured it out, and I found the guild bank and
it's
deposited
different at each bank too.
Oh, don't tell me that.
At Stormwind, it looks like a big old safe that's on the wall right next to the banker. But then, like in Shat, it's a little room off to the side.
Oh, you mean the location of it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Shat, it's in Aldor and Scryer. Like it's not even in the bank.
Well, I mean, the banks are Aldor and Scryer.
Right, but they're not really. Like, come on.
I mean,
Aldor and Scryer are up top.
Oh, but but the banks are down below, but they're definitely segregated to Aldor and Scryer.
They are.
Yeah, you can't use, even though you can use the mailboxes in the opposing whatever, you can't use the opposing guild bank, which I found out, and I was like pissed off about that.
I thought that was weird too. I was like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, just been getting all my engineering stuff. I can't wait to make my goggles come this next week, and just there's a lot coming. So I'm excited about that.
I need to figure out if I need any resist stuff.
I think the only thing where everybody could use some is there's a fight where if everybody has a couple pieces of arcane, it just makes it easier.
Begins with an A.
Yeah, we had a listener on last week, Felber, and he told us about it.
Did you do any PTR?
I did not. We decided we're not going to do that this time around. We felt that it was too much. We were really sweaty in Classic, and then we decided to just not be as sweaty in TBC. I don't know why. I guess we didn't want to ruin the experience. Because honestly, for me, it's a little bit much doing all the PTRs for everything. But
yeah,
well, and PvP is more fun in TBC, right? Like you can spend your time in arena and trying to do other things, and
yeah, that's a good point, Mel. Because we were in World Buff jail during Classic, so we had time to do PTR. You know, it was like, oh, we don't have anything else to do because we're in World Buff jail. It's true. Good point.
Now we can actually just play, which has been a little wonderful. But I guess our plans, our current stuff is we're stopping Kara, and
same.
We're just gonna be doing the 25 mans. We're starting up DKP. So
I mean, we're doing optional Karas, right? Like they'll put up a sign up if anybody wants to do it, or their ults and stuff. Like there's still going to be guild runs. It's just probably not going to be run by the guild leader and all of that.
Yep, it'll just be it'll be the same thing we've been doing. It'll be double reserve type of deal. But at this point,
I won't feel obligated to go though.
Yeah, there won't be any like we've had a thing where alts can't reserve anything mains reserve, like going into Kara's, like that'll I assume be gone. I can't imagine that would stay.
Well, yeah, because we'll have DKP too in the new raids.
So looking forward to that and how that goes over. And next week's going to be a little bizarre. We're going to be doing trash runs, and I talked to Horrorscar, and alts are welcome on trash runs to roll on vortexes. So that was really exciting to me because getting my PvP weapon is really high on my list for BlazzinBob.
Well, I didn't realize vortexes can drop off trash.
Yeah, that's they drop off trash quite a bit, like depending on your luck. So basically, like that's how like pure PvPers will be doing it. There'll be just people running trash runs, selling vortexes. Is what I guess will happen. But we're gonna be doing that Wednesday, and then we're gonna be doing probably start out with Magtheridon and Gruul starting Thursday, and then jump into the other the other new raids because people are unsure if 2 tokens are going to drop on Tuesday. I feel like they should, but like there's no information on if 2 tokens are going to drop on Tuesday, or if it's not going to be till Wednesday when it comes out. The Blue Post reads that it's not going to be till Wednesday, but that makes no sense to me, because why not let everybody just knock out the shit that they already have on Tuesday? Fucking classic.
Yeah. It's weird, right? I don't know. Well, the server still resets on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, and we still get Goggles Tuesday. We still get
So we're gonna
Druid
do
Flying Mount Tuesday. Our Druid Fly Form on Tuesday, and
we're planning on doing Mag and what do you call on Tuesday? Get that out of the way.
See, and
Mag
we're not, because we're scared that we won't get the double drops, because we still have a bunch of locks that need shoulders.
Yeah, me too. I need shoulders. Yeah.
So but honestly, I feel like we should just be like, let's just do it, because we should want to have as much time as possible Thursday in the new raids. Like
that's a good point, Bob. Yeah, I didn't think about that, because what if they don't put the patch out like the right? Yeah.
But I still feel it's just better just to knock out the old stuff on Tuesday, regardless of the drops, just because you want all that time.
You want all that time. You're going to need it. Trust me. It's not going to be a pushover. It's not.
But will it be easier if you have 2 drops?
I don't know if it'll be that much easier. I think it'll be easier if you get a bunch of bosses down in the new dungeons.
I don't think anyone's going to hit DPS checks. I think that's just going to be mechanics that are going to fuck people. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. I think DPS wise, I think everyone knows what they're doing. I think that's fine. I think it's the mechanics that people are not going to have a really hard time with.
It is weird that I'm just now getting to a point where I've got all of my Bisgear on my priest, and I looked at it the Bisgear for the next phase, and I'm like, man, I gotta replace everything.
Yeah, I know. Solarian is the one with the arcane resistance, by the way. See how my mind works? We thought something else, and then it doesn't start with an A, it starts with an S.
It had an A in it.
Yeah,
Melderon,
oh my god, there's something wrong with me.
All right, well, if nobody has anything else, let's move on to the news. So we have one piece of news this week, and it was a fun piece of news for me. I know it's not going to be anything exciting for a lot of people, but come late Monday night, we get a ping we have a PvP tag in our Discord for the people that love PvP. And we get a ping, hey guys, everything is half off on the arena vendor, and there's no rating requirement for shoulders or weapons. And so I, of course, immediately jump on. And I go over, and I'd been saving, so I was able to buy the shoulders. I was able to buy the chest, and then I already had the pants. I'm getting the engineering helmet. So once I buy one piece of, once I buy the gloves for Arena Season 2, I'll have all epics, PvP epics, or the best,
the honor epics,
the best PvE epic for that thing. Because I've been doing Kara's and stuff. So BlazzinBob is ready to rock and roll PvP come next season. But yeah, they're all half price now until the 14th. So make sure you spend your arena points, because I do not think that those items are going to be on for honor until phase 3. So you're still going to have to pay with arena points, and you're going to be wiped your arena points come the 14th. Now I've heard that you can buy a piece of gear, not equip it, and turn it back in right after the arena season resets, but no one's been able to test that. It did work back in early TBC. I would not count on that. I would just go ahead and buy the things that you need and try and spend so that you spend all of your points, because they're going to be converted into honor at a 10-to-1 ratio. So if you have 1 arena point, you'll get 10 honor. If you have 1,000 arena points, you'll get 10,000 honor. So just remember, you're probably not going to be able to buy those items. So even if you want this big item and then you'll have 200, 300 points left, maybe just buy an offhand and a smaller item so that you get as many items as you can from it. That would be my advice. But what do you guys think?
Well, I think you have to look at your honor cap too, right? Like make sure you're not honor capped, and then your arena points won't turn into anything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess if
so
you're
in my
capped.
situations like that, I have arena points that are gonna be wasted because I have too little to buy anything, and I'm honor cap, so they just literally get wasted. So, but not
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be in that boat. So
Can't
Well,
you
okay,
buy
hold
like
on. Buy
can't you buy
the
like mana
gems.
pots and like different things like that? Or
Buy.
I
gems?
so
Yeah.
so I've already bought all the gems. Yeah.
I think you can buy, as long as they're in a piece of gear, I think you can buy the gems again because they're
No.
unique equipped.
I mean that I bought gems for the rest of the game already.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I did a lot of PvP this season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. You can buy the gems because the gems are only red is I think 5k honor, orange is 6.5k honor. So if you have that 650 arena points or whatever, like yeah, buy a gem for
They,
sure. Like
yeah,
Bob said, he's
they've been
absolutely right.
halved too.
Yeah.
So they've been halved from what they were at the
Oh,
beginning.
well, the gems are for honor, not for arena points.
Honor, yes.
Yeah. Oh, they have the gem cost for honor too.
Yeah,
It's not just arena points they have. Oh, I didn't
Melbourne's
know
all
that.
pissed off now.
My
He's
God,
like,
I
wait
should
a minute.
I could have PvP'd like so much less.
Yeah, they are literally, the gems actually got halved that first Tuesday. They were the only pieces of gear that got
Yeah.
halved. It was the weirdest thing, but like you can collect those up. You don't have to, like, they're not like the ones that drop from heroic dungeons. Those are actually unique. You can't have more than one. But these are unique equipped, so you can save
Yes.
them for like later gear.
Yeah, so what I do is I buy a red and an orange for PvP gear and a red and an orange for PvE gear because I'm an enhancement shaman. But so um yeah, that's really smart. So yeah. The only thing that sucks about those gems is their unique item rack doesn't take into account that that's a thing. So what'll happen is item rack puts on gear head first and goes down. So say you have a unique equipped gem in your boots, in your PvE set like I do, and a unique equipped gem in your chest for your PvP set like I do.
I didn't even think about that.
Be very careful when you switch gear because it'll be like, I cannot put this gear on, even though because of the order that item rack puts gear in on you.
Wow.
You'll have to manual some stuff. It's very annoying, but I hope I explained that right.
You did, yeah, you did, because I haven't run into it because I usually try to put those gems in either shoulders, chest, or helm. So I probably haven't run into that problem because they're doing it in that order. So it's probably just, and I'm usually putting them in the same piece of gear so I don't get confused. So I've got like my PvE and PvP helms, and then they've got like the same honor gem in them.
Yeah.
So like I probably haven't even noticed that. But yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, so I just wanted everybody to know, like, definitely spend all of that, and it really sucks for the people that because we had all kinds of rumors of what was going to happen. We told everybody on the show for weeks now to just save all your arena points and don't spend them. And so hopefully people didn't, because like if I actually hadn't have bought the pants, I would have been able to buy my 4 set. Like
Nice.
if I just hadn't have bought the pants like weeks back, and like how much did the pants really help me? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, depending on what you were replacing them with, like I never got, so I just got pants. I just got 5-piece this week because of the reduction. So I had to buy 2 slow weapons and they're 2,600 a piece. So yeah, I was behind, right? But so now I have all 5 pieces. I have 2 weapons. The only thing I didn't get a chance to buy was the shield. I want to get the shield. That's okay. I have the shield from Nightbane, so it's still pretty good. But
see, I guess it's just, for me, the thought is like, do you want to be competitive at the start of the next season?
Yeah.
Or do you want a little boost at this season that you're already behind in? So like, if you're starting behind in this season, with what we've seen from what they're doing, my advice would be to just hoard your points. Like, what's the cap on points? I don't know.
Arena, I don't know what the cap is.
Yeah, so like,
is there a cap?
I don't know that there is. I thought there was at first, but like I haven't heard of a cap, and so just bank them all, and then get yourself the full set going into the start of the next season, and actually have a chance to like actually progress in that season. Like that seems
I
like
don't
the
know if I
smarter
agree
plan
with
to me.
that. I don't know if I agree with that, right? Because you learn so much as you go up in a season, right? Like as you progress through the ranks, like Melderon was saying earlier, you get to this point where you're playing this certain composition that's meta, and as you progress through those different ranks of PvP, you can't even get there unless you're have some of the gear that you need.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's saying hoard all of your points, but I think maybe like
I
go
think
at it for a month and then maybe
Yeah.
hoard your points towards the end. Like
it depends on your goals. So here's a prime example. Like our comp, some of our guys didn't PvP very often, so they were walking into fives with PvE gear. Every piece of gear that guy got was from the Glad gear. We saw a significant spike up because he wasn't dying. Like he was a kill target. It was a hunter. He was a kill target, and so it really depends on what your goals are. If you just want to like get gear, then if you want to be competitive, though, you have to be very careful with yeah.
Well, so I was, I had a whole bunch of honors. So I had all of the blues, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel like me replacing the pants didn't do a significant amount when I could have got 2 pieces of gear for that same price come now, and then started season 2 on just the same foot as everybody else.
Yeah.
But now you're going to be able to buy the offsetting blues without doing honor. So I mean, maybe you just slum it for a season to actually have a good chance in the next season. And it just depends. If you can get on the teams with people that are getting 2K ratings in fives, then I wouldn't save. Like go ahead and buy. Like, but it just depends on your situation, and it just like it bums me out that I could have just not gotten those pants. And then I'd be starting with 4 set and my engineering helm come
But I think
this season.
You're thinking of it on one piece, right? Would you have not gotten all of the other pieces? Because like Melderon was saying, like if I hadn't have bought any pieces, we would not have won hardly any.
Yeah,
right?
because you didn't have the blue set. Like if you had done all the honor grinding like me and had the blue set, it would have been a different story. For you, it definitely made sense to buy.
Sucks.
It does suck.
Like I'd rather do arena than honor grind.
I mean I love doing BGs, but I didn't love it until I got to like 220, I think, resilience.
Yeah, then you start really loving it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but it's so defeating to me, I guess, the amount of time you put into it. And I guess because maybe this is just a mindset, right? Like maybe I should just have fun doing it. But it's like seeing how much honor you get from every BG and realizing how much honor you need to get everything you want. You're just like,
yeah, I definitely don't look at that. I just look at the jabronis I'm knocking over one by one. Like, yeah, you just got 1v2'd, bitch. Like, that's what I'm looking at. It was
like a means to an end, right? It was like I had to do this to get what I needed to do what I wanted to do. And that made it less fun, I think.
And I think also for you specifically with your druid, what made it less fun is you didn't have PvE gear because like some of the tier stuff is really good for PvP because it's so much stamina and stuff. You had these crappy dungeon blues that weren't even from heroics, So like that definitely changes it too, because we've seen some of the top players go right up the ladder without any PvE gear. It depends on class. Those are often rogues.
Yeah, usually rogues, mages.
Yeah, but it's just like it just depends on your situation. I think if you had been on your priest, you would have been a lot. It would have been a lot easier to break into, whereas your druid, you literally had like 6,000 health when we started grinding BGs, and like that's not gonna cut it.
Well, and I just didn't know how to play my druid as well, right? Like I'd been playing my priest all of Classic, and I had played a priest back in the day too, and so I knew how to play my priest. In PvP, I played my priest, right? In TBC, I played a priest, and then I swapped this time. So in vanilla, I played a druid in Classic in vanilla and then a priest in TBC. And then this time around, I played a priest in Classic, and now I have my druid in TBC, right? So I'm like totally swapped, and now I'm playing a druid in PvP, and I don't know exactly all of my moves and all of that, and I don't play on it enough to, have a solid understanding. And then now I'm PvEing and PvPing on my druid, and listen, it's a lot, guys.
Yeah, it is a lot if you're playing 2 characters. Like I'm only playing 1 character, so I can't imagine doing all this stuff on two characters. Yeah, that's
But I
a
don't
lot.
PvP with my priest, right? So I like separate
Yeah,
them.
it's still additional work, right? Like there's still a lot. You have to get them leveled. You had to get. I don't know. Like it's still a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. You're compartmentalizing it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm trying, and I'm only PvEing with my druid just to get some of that catch up gear, and it's like alt runs. It's not like I'm hardcore PvEing, but it's like Kara, right? Like, why not?
It just sucks because like I have all this PvP gear, and like I just wish I can use it on my server. Like just fight someone like somewhere.
I'm gonna enjoy like it's so in the open world. Okay, so the other night I was like hammered. We were done. I was drunk, and there's a friend of ours, Skeet Slingin, and he tanks our 10-man Karas, but there's no way he's getting in the 25-man as a tank, and so he's re-rolling Chamois. So he finally got into Hellfire, and I had just gotten my Bloodlust Brooch and like all of my shoulders and my chest, and like I'm just literally decked out right now. I've got a blue helmet, the PvP helmet, and the blue gloves. But I'm slapping right now. So I go and just start power running him through quests, and there's horde everywhere. Like all like low 60s, and I'm just killing 5 people at a time. Like I'm helping him with the quest. I'm like, all right, you go turn it in, come back here because you have to come back here for the next part. I'm just gonna kill these people while you do that. And I'm killing them. They're bringing their freaking 70 friends that are like alts too that aren't geared. I'm just slapping. I'm just destroying single-handedly all of Hellfire Peninsula. It was awesome, so much fun, dude.
I missed that so much, man.
Oh, it's so much fun. And then they finally bring enough people to kill me.
Kill you, yeah.
And then I just get on my epic mount and move locations to where Skeet's now doing his next part of his questing, and then I kill people there. And it was so much fun.
My fondest memories of WoW or stuff like that, like back in the day, like someone would attack Thralmar, you go help, get this guy. I don't know, just I miss that so much.
Yeah, it's great when I'm trying to herb on my druid, and I'm like, somebody come help me, there's a horde killing me, and he took my mana thistle and he cannot be left alone.
Oh, Melderon, I don't think we told you about this, but weeks back, we were trying to find a place to world PvP late at night.
Yeah.
And the daily heroic and daily regular dungeon was Black Morass. And if you didn't know, from the entrance to Black Morass until you get to the circle, if you die in that hall, like the circle around there that you walk to do the quest at the start, if you die anywhere within that area from that circle to the dungeon entrance, you go back to Tannerus Graveyard.
Oh my God.
So we were it was like 9 of us just griefing every horde that tried to zone into the dungeon for the daily. And we're killing everybody, and they're doing literally a 7-minute walk to get back. It was
Mel was out of town during this debacle.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh man, it was.
I did not know that. We had no PvP, so it's like I wouldn't even know that. The only times I've ever died
in that circle
was inside one of the instances, and you get ported back to that graveyard inside the tunnel, right? So I never knew there was. I thought that's where you would.
It's literally a bug. You probably should port there, but it's like it is a bug because you're just a little too far from it, and so you're too far from the instance. Yeah, so your ghost turns out at Tannerus, and you're just like, "Are you kidding me?"
Wow.
Yeah, it's such a long walk. And then that means you can't take the dragon down either. So you have to walk the entire tunnel down. The
entire way down, yeah.
Yeah, it is absurd. And it was the meanest thing ever, and it was so much fun.
Man. See all this fun I'm missing?
We
You
got
are,
bullied
man.
in phase 2. We're taking it back.
Oh,
Wow.
man. All right, well, do you guys have anything else you wanted to say about the changes? I thought it was really cool that they took the shoulder requirements off. Like, that was going to be a
And the
bane for
weapons, right?
me. Yeah, like, the weapon's not big deal for me because I use
Yeah, Deep Thunder, yeah.
yeah, but like for a lot of people, it is a big deal, especially rogues and stuff that can't get, weapons through
Yeah.
PvE and stuff like that. But like, I thought that was really cool. And that is, to my knowledge, not the way it was in TBC. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I didn't PvP back then. Not
I
Actually,
did.
competitive,
I
at
just don't
least.
remember.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually, now that I'm thinking of it, I think actually in TBC, it was, there weren't requirements on the early level gear. And then that's something they
There
added
was.
later. But then they never took the requirements off. But either way, I was worried. I was basically going to like gruel runs, just like, give me shoulders, because I'm not going to be able to get any type of shoulders that are worth a shit. You know what I mean? So I was
Yeah.
like trying to get tier shoulders. And so now I just don't even have to worry about that. I got the shoulders, feeling
Nice.
good. Yeah. It was definitely awesome for me, but I didn't know if you guys thought that that was uncool. I know if Yip was here, he'd be like, "Oh, you should be able to get your 1850 for shoulders. If you can't, just stop whining."
Yeah, to
I
me
mean,
it doesn't really matter. I mean, honestly, like the season's over to me. So it's like whatever. Yeah.
yeah, and to be honest, like if you wanted to get your shoulders, you could have gotten on a team that would get you your shoulders, right? Like Bob's main problem was he always wanted to arena and nobody else
Oh, right. Yeah.
that was like in the team wanted to arena or could arena at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And so Bob could have grinded his way up the ladder, but his teammates, myself included, were unavailable a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And the ones
Yeah.
that were available were like, meme comps, right? Like you weren't going to do anything with it. It was like, you know, warrior or warrior something else stupid. I don't know.
Sure. No, I understand that. Yeah. It's you have to really want to push to
Hmm.
push. You can't just like accidentally push unless you're like a PvP god, then okay. But
Right.
yeah, it's definitely true. You need the time commitment for sure to push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to get a cadence together, right? Like
Yeah.
with your team.
Oh,
Like you can't
100%. Yeah.
just sub people in and out here and there. Like you have to understand how everybody else is doing things and where everybody else places themselves. Like there's so much cadence that I can see like if you play together a lot that it would become natural. Kind of like it does with raiding, right? Like I know when Yip's going to take damage cuz I can see his like different, you know, moves and how he takes a little bit here and I'm like, okay, I need to
It is
heal
play
more here,
style.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah. But when it's changing all the time, it's like I don't know where you're going to stand, I don't know where you're going to go. Steel
Yeah.
Wolf's going to rush in and die cuz
Yeah.
I'm still stealthed and nobody told me like
Well, see, and you're right. I could have gotten on a team, I'm sure, probably, but like I would have had to play with people that maybe I don't like, like, and I saw an investment in this season with people that wanted to start PvP, but they just don't have the gear yet. And like
Hmm.
now some of us are actually getting to the point to where we can actually do stuff and actually be good with the gear, and so it's, like I could definitely get on a team and probably grind it out and I'd have some asshole telling me everything that I screwed up with, in a very condescending manner constantly. But I could have probably done it. I just don't want to do that. I enjoy the people we hang with, and I think that we're going to have a lot more success this next season than we did last.
yeah, and it gets them
Yeah.
invested in battlegrounds with us too and stuff like that. But I will say I did get all of my PvE Biscare from Kara that I needed for my druid. I got 2 pieces this week, and I only needed 3.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, then you got what you get? You got Helm to get your 2 set bonus for the healing gladiator set. You got chest for the damage gladiator set, so you just need one more piece. Like you'll probably get shoulders, probably season 1 shoulders for cheap to get your other 35 resilience bump, and so you'll be after a week, maybe 2 of this new arena season, like you're gonna be sitting pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, and you also got your boots from Honor too. Like you're looking real good, Mel. Mel's over 300 resilience now.
Nice. That's good.
Feels
That's
good.
really good. Yeah, it feels a lot different, doesn't it? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
you feel like you can actually take some hits and
Yeah,
not
like
get
when we
glowed
first
by a
started, I
warrior or
was
something.
like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, a rogue's on me, I'm dead.
Yep.
Yep, dead. Like,
Yeah, if you were sitting there in PvE blues, that's exactly what was happening.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Anybody, really. It was like a rogue, a warrior, a shaman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Literally, if anybody touched me, I'd fall over and
Well, even
be like, I'm sorry.
yeah. So our last, like Mel and I hadn't done 2s for weeks. We'd been doing 5s to get points, but the timing just didn't work out that last week for 5. So we had to jump on Monday and do 2s, and we went 8-2. And Mel was
Nice.
just living through everything, and this was before she got a bunch of upgrades. So I'm excited.
And we only went 8-2 because I didn't pop the queue for one of them.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
True.
So
we
you
might have went.
You went 8-1.
Yeah, we might have went 9-1 had she been in there, and I almost 1v2'd the team.
Yeah, dude,
yeah, it was
Warriors can do that
crazy.
shit. Warriors can do that shit. I told you, like, last time we talked in 5, so if we killed both DPS and there was a Warrior still active, we were like, back away from him. Like, like
Sorry.
hit him, like jab and move. Like it was like, because he'll whirlwind you and like get like mace stuns and whirlwind and whatever,
Oh my
and
God.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was
Nothing's
it
more
was a hunter
frustrating
rogue,
than
and I almost
Yeah.
took the hunter down. The hunter, he did the stupid thing where he feigned death, and my charge and my hamstring are the same button. So as soon as he feigned death, I instantly charged to the rogue, and he was able to get away from me. Yeah, not charged, but intervened. And so I was just like, damn it.
Yeah, because I guess tabbed, and I think tab doesn't work on a dead. Like tab doesn't work on feign death, right?
Nope.
You have to actually select it.
Yeah. If he pops back up, tab will work. But since I hit the button, it automatically targets the other person.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then boom, I was too far away from the hunter at that point, and I didn't have anything to close the gap. I was just like, damn it, I shouldn't have been spamming hamstring.
It's so satisfying as a druid just to like run around and like in bear form when it's like a rogue and they're just like pounding on you, and I'm like, you're not doing anything. Good luck. And then
it is nice.
Just to be able to live through that, because I wasn't used to living through that. What I will say is in 5s, no way.
No.
Like I'm CC'd. There's been 5s runs where I've literally been CC'd the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Or I just can't move.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Def Camp is our only healer, right? So there were situations where they were so good at like he would, get cheaped, trinket, improved counterspell, right? And then he'd wait for that, and then he'd get earth shocked, and then he would get like sheeped again,
Cycloned,
and then it's just like it's so frustrating. He's like, I'm watching you guys die, and I can't do anything about it. It's just
like there's just no option, right? Like, oh, it's so frustrating. That's the most frustrating, I think.
Yeah,
is when there's just nothing you could have done to make that not happen, and you're just watching.
Yep. Yeah, it's rough, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
I enjoy it.
Definitely a good time.
It is. I mean, there is something you could have done, right? Like, hey, maybe we should position different. Maybe
exactly. There's always something you can
focus a different target or do something like that. But at the moment, it feels like you're very just like
worthless at that point.
Yeah. The worst is when you stick on a target and they're super beefy, and then you decide to change targets, and you're like 2-shot the target you like changed to, and you're like, damn it, why wasn't I on them from the start? Like I didn't realize they were geared.
Right? He was like it was a druid healer, I think, and I think it was a mirror match. It was a druid warrior, and he was like on the warrior, and the warrior's on me, and I'm CCing the druid some, and he just keeps healing up, and he finally kills or gets the warrior to like a low spot, and I'm like, I'm just gonna cycle on the warrior, go deal with the druid, and he like walks over to the druid and like just knocks him down, And we're like,
literally,
okay.
boop, boop, boop. Oh shit, blown up.
Yeah.
And it just like I just didn't realize. So like sometimes like switching targets early just to see who's got the gear can sometimes help even.
Yeah, it really depends, right? Because you could have by not attacking that guy first, you totally disengage the healer. Like, so the healers are focusing on the person you're hitting. Then you turn, and then they don't have enough time to, you know what I mean? So it's all about when to swap. It's not about starting on that character who seems squishy, because I don't know. Fives is all about when the target change, in my opinion. That's the whole thing. Like, at least for us, because we're a 4 DPS comp, but it was like, when do we switch? We have to force the ice block, force the bop, force this,
right,
and then we switch. That's but
yeah, this isn't twos though. This is more in twos.
Oh, in twos, I see. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the news, guys, and news and tangents, and I hope you enjoyed it. But let's move on to discussion. So this week in discussion, we've got two things that are on the docket. The first thing, just kind of wanted to know everybody's plans for Phase 2 PvE and PvP. But why don't you start out with Eden's like plans for PvE in Phase 2?
Nothing surprising. Get stuff on farm as quick as we can, and then bring back Mag and Gruul. The first week, like I said, we might do Mag and Gruul on Tuesday, and then move into probably SSC first. Get up to Lady Vosh if we have a significant hurdle there. We'll probably stop that, go to TK the next night, and I guess then progress as far as we can, and then kind of have Kale and Vash left is kind of what we're planning. It could go differently, but that's kind of what we're thinking.
So I'm not sure what. I wish Yip was here because they had a big officer meeting, so he might be able to elaborate on what our actual plans are. But I'm kind of hoping that we just go right into SSC.
That was similar to our plan.
Well, I'm just hoping we go right into SSC and we just do not go for the last boss. Like, we don't even try it. Or, like, we try it.
That's what Yip was saying. That we were going to go like, to the last boss and then just go to TK. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just get more gear.
That. And, get more gear. Because the last bosses are actually obviously the hardest.
Yeah, they're significantly tougher than everything else in the dungeons, basically. So that's, like, what we plan is going to happen is, like, this is what we think is going to happen. We're going to get an SSC. We're going to get most of the bosses down, no problem. We're going to get to Vash and have significant hurdles, right? So instead of sitting there all the rest of the time and just banging our head against the wall, the next night we leave Vash, we go to TK, do the same thing in TK, and then kind of strategize after that and see where we're going to go.
Do you think it's going to take the whole night, though, to get up to Vash?
I don't know. We haven't practiced, right? So it's one of those things where I have no idea how we're going to do. I think we can get to Vash pretty quickly, but we could stumble on a boss and not do it right. And it's one of those things where if I did PTR testing, I could tell you exactly what I think we'd stumble on or where we had problems with. We didn't. So it's it's
kind of exciting, right?
Yeah, it is. That's why we decided not to do PTR.
Yeah. Like it's something that's kind of exciting.
You kind of underestimate where you think you might be able to get, right? Or you think of like a realistic, like this is realistic, like we can do this, right? And if you get farther, then it's exciting, right? You're like, oh, okay, we did really good. Like,
yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. I think it's going to be. We have Monday as a reserve third night. We do Wednesday, Thursdays normal nights, and then we have Monday reserve as a third night. So I'm assuming we're going to need all of it. Nax took us a couple weeks to get through all of it. It may do the same thing here. Like, we may not get everything done the first week. And that's fine. I think
you guys do Wednesday, Thursday, so you guys won't even be affected if things come out on Tuesday and not on Wednesday. See, we do Tuesday, Thursday. So things like not dropping Tuesday matters to us a lot if they start dropping Wednesday, right? Like, but getting everybody to commit to switching from Tuesday to Wednesday on like short notice is difficult.
Which is why I feel like we should just like forget the gear, like just do Mag and Gruul Tuesday, so we have as much time as possible in the new raids.
I think you're going to need it. I really do, and not just because. And I'm not saying that because of anything. I'm just saying that I think every guild's going to need it. I really do. Like, I think people are. I think Vash and KT are way more difficult than anything we've seen so far. Like way more. Could be wrong about that, but I just from looking at it and seeing all the mechanics, like there's a lot more personal responsibility and a lot more, especially Vash. Like my God, there's so much shit that has to happen in a fight.
I mean, we put up raid signups today for Wednesday, Gruul and SSC Trash, and we have 18 people already signed up. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, we're doing Gruul and Mag, then the Trash runs Wednesday. Okay, yes. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's okay. As long as we have the full time Thursday. But I mean, will 25 people show up Wednesday? Like that's not a normal raid day. That's what scares me.
Right, but they're signing up. There's 18 people signed up for Wednesday.
Okay, so maybe we.
And it was only posted today. So.
Okay, crossing fingers then. Okay, as long as we have as much time in the new raids Thursday as possible, like that's all I really care about.
Yeah, I think the player base is going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a lot harder than Mag and Gruul. Yeah. So Gruul, I mean, Gruul's a joke. Come on. I mean, Malgar, it's to the point now where people are just burning him down.
We finally did that for the. Oh, I didn't say that in our raid updates. We were burning down the healer, then Gruul, or then Mag, but we just did Mag this last week. So I actually got to parse in the 90s. Yeah, Mulgar.
Okay.
No, we did Mag in Gruul's lair. It was crazy.
We still haven't done Mag where we just constantly do the interrupts. Like I would love to do that once where we're just like DPS him down. Like you just you just don't wait for anything. You just like you have people click as soon as they have to get off, then you have your next group click. As soon as they have to get off, your next group click. Yeah, you basically you channel it as long as you can to have as much of the extra damage, but you just burn him. Like you just constantly do it. You don't wait for him to do his thing. You just like literally just roll the cubes.
Oh, I didn't realize you can even do that. Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to what people have been doing.
Yeah, I mean that's like the way to parse at the moment. But
I see.
But like I don't know. We actually wiped twice on Mag this last week, which was the weirdest crap. We actually DPS'd too fast, and then we took the
you got the
we took the ceiling drop.
The ceiling with the
yeah. So we actually like outgrew. Yeah, it was weird. Oh, that's
we're also like a little low on healers, right? Like we've got like 5 main healers, which is fine, but if anybody's out, we don't have enough, or we don't have enough to cover all of our Kara runs if we want to run 3 runs. But I have my alt healer, so I can run on Tuesday and Thursday.
Well, that's another thing to talk about too with Kara in phase 2. With all the bosses and Trash being half health. Like, how much of a joke is Kara gonna be?
Kara's already a joke.
Wait, sorry, what do you mean? What do you mean half health?
Kara's going into its nerfed state come Tuesday.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I've been out of loot, man. Yeah.
There has been a lot of blue posts talking about it, but like they talked about it way back when. So.
Oh well, yeah, that's gonna be. What's the point of it? Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be like literally just burning down bosses. Like alt runs are gonna be easy peasy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the badges are not coming in until phase 3 at the earliest. And it might even be later for badges to be dropping. But you do have to look, like, when the different new gear comes out, I don't think any new badge gear is coming out in phase 2 because phase 2 is kind of like it's like a made-up phase. It wasn't really there. But
correct. Yeah.
But like in phase 3, there's definitely new badge loot in phase 4, phase 5, Sunwell. But the badge loot starts to be like 120 badges and crap like that. So like getting the 2 per boss in Kara is going to be big, and like getting through that fast is going to be, it's going to start to be the thing where people aren't even worried about doing heroics. They're going to be like, hey, let's do a quick Kara run.
For badges. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even realize we're taking Kara off the raid schedule next, like you guys are. We're doing like a sign up or something for Kara. So um I think most people got what they needed. If we would have been nice if we got a few more Nethrosine Mind Blades and stuff like that, but
Dude, I
um
still don't have a blade, man. I've
yeah.
never seen it drop. I've seen it drop on my warrior, but I haven't seen it drop on my warlock. The one time it did drop in a raid that I was in, we lost power, and I was not able to get back on halfway through the raid. It
Yeah.
was horrible.
To be fair, though, with it going to a nerfed state, like how easy is that going to be to pug? Like, just go in there. If you're the one that needs something, just go in there and pug it, and you'll
Yeah,
probably
it'll
get a
be
drop
easy to
or
pug
get a
now.
few
Like,
guildies. Like, it's not a huge time commitment. It's already not a huge time commitment, so you nerf it. Like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah, Kara's gonna be a joke. Wow.
yeah.
My
oh,
God.
we did get our second DST 2 weeks in a row. Got
Nice.
two
Nice.
DSTs, so that was nice.
Yeah, we still haven't. Yeah, we got two. I got one, and one of our hunters got one, and nice if we had some more coming. But yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, that'll be pretty interesting with Kara changing and just anyone being able to run it pretty easy. Like, it's kind of exciting, especially if you're into alts. But I think that's really our plans for PVE. Like, do you have what's your plans for PvP? You're just gonna you kind of talked about it early on in the show.
yeah,
You're gonna do the threes.
yeah. Threes with Ale and Def Camp, and then fives for points probably, and um, stay enhancement. That's my goal. Is the not PvP as anything else, and yeah, just continue having fun with it. I want to be able to get all the gear each phase if possible, like or close to it, and I don't know, just really enjoy that aspect of the game. So I'm gonna
How
keep.
different is your enhancement PvP versus PvE spec?
It's similar. It's not. I mean, I can get away with my PvP spec, but I wouldn't do that personally because I feel like there's a couple reasons why. One, I want to do as much damage as possible. Two, I think it would be a good bad precedent for the rest of the guild if people saw me doing that. But it's
It is nice that
similar.
you guys raid 2 nights in a row, though. Then,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Because you have like Wednesday, Thursday, and then you have you know Thursday night or Friday until
Until the
Wednesday.
next following Wednesday. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I have to, yeah. So the three specs aren't that bad. I mean, I'm at the point, and then the Ogre Law and what do you call the others are coming out too. So
Shatari Skyguard.
gold will be a lot more accessible, even more than it is now. So I think
Right.
it'll be fun. But yeah, it's similar enough that like I don't notice it on like heroics and stuff, but I definitely notice it on 20
Right.
like raids. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean my PvP spec on my druid. If I go like into twos PvP spec with Bob and do tree form, like I could do that in raid. I just feel like it's not as good. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't mind spending the money to
Yeah,
respec.
basically, like when we're allowed to come on our alts to a guild care run, we're gonna respec because we have
Yeah.
respect for the people that we're running with, and we're thankful that they let us come on our alts that aren't pumpers like our mains. Like
yeah,
that's
Well, I do want to
basically
make
where
it
we're
harder
at.
for them, right? Like
Yeah,
if
like they're
I'm
doing us a
PvP
favor.
spec and an alt, like it's just gonna make it harder on them and it's gonna make their night longer and my night longer, and I don't want that.
yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Mel, that the PvP spec heavily reduces how much attack power I give to other people. That's another reason I wouldn't personally use it in
Ah,
raid. Yeah,
fair.
it affects my Strength of Earth and Wind Fury totem attack power bonuses. The PvPs. Yeah. So anyway, it's not just my damage that goes down. It would be everyone else's damage in my group.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, for PvP for us, like Mel and I plan on actually like giving twos a fair shot now that we have gear and learning. Mel's been going through videos on Druid, and I've been learning stuff too that I'm like, I didn't even think about that. Like, for instance, what I was watching it with her, and insect swarm. I didn't even think about this. Like it gives like 2% less chance to hit. Well,
mm,
now I'm going in to BGs or to arenas with 7% chance to hit instead of 5, because I didn't even think about that. Like, most people are going in with 5. Like, if you miss a mortal strike or
huge
a like stun, like that's a huge change. So like, why not just throw in, 16 more, or hit, like, I guess I'm not going in with 7, but I'm going in with, like, I'm not worried about going in with more than 5. I was like,
because of Insect Swarm.
Yeah, I was in 2s. We're going against a lot of like mirror comps, and if I've got that extra 2%, yeah. So,
but there's also a lot of druids that do not have Insect Swarm, right? Like, it depends on what you go for, right? You either go for Tree Form or Insect Swarm, right?
Right, and I think Insect Swarm is better than Tree Form in the arena, right?
In 2s,
I think that's
definitely.
the general consensus.
2s,
yeah.
2s. But if you're in 5s, like, Tree Form is probably better. And maybe even 3s. Like, there's a lot of 2K rated players in 3s that use Tree Form.
I don't even think it's just Tree Form. And I'm not an expert druid PvPer, so please don't take my advice. But I think there's a lot that in that resto tree that you like get down towards the bottom and you're just like, okay, well, I should probably just get Tree Form if I'm going to go this far down, right?
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, it like, from what I've seen, it recommends that if you're in like a standard 2v2 comp with a rogue or a warlock or something, that you get Insect Swarm. It recommends if you're in with a warrior that you go for Tree Form for the extra healing aspect, because you get a lot more healing and less damage control in the other
Interesting.
side. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's benefits to both, but again, I told Bob I wasn't going to get Insect Swarm until I mastered doing my Nature's Grasp and my Feral Charge and my Fairy Fire on rogues, because there was just one more thing to add into my kit that I was like, I need to focus.
I don't envy you at all.
I need to focus on one thing at a time, right? Where I'm like, I need to really focus on every time I see a rogue, I need to put Fairy Fire on them right away. I need to focus on every time I'm, attacked, I need to put on Nature's Grasp so that they're rooted and I can run away. Like, those are the things, like, I just have to do that. And if I did it more, that would come quicker, right?
Well, and when we had Snowby and Casabo on to talk about PvP a couple weeks back, like, their thing was like, just try and add one thing to your kit at a time, get it down to where it's muscle memory and you're not thinking about it. The game slows down for you in that, aspect, and then add something else in.
Right.
So for me, I've been trying to do the thing where even if I'm trading the healer, but the DPS is right next to me, I focus target, disarm them, while still training the healer, and so those types of, that's like currently what I'm specifically working on. But there's the next thing I got to get down is spell reflect. Like, I'm so
I was
bad
just gonna
at
say
it.
that's the killer, I think, for warrior. That's like the top level for warriors,
and it's so like hard to bring yourself. Ooh, sorry. To like bring yourself to do that. Like, it's so hard.
So basically, you need. I'm just assuming a shield swap macro, a defensive stance swap, and then reflect, right? So you want to get that all down pretty quick. Like,
I've actually switched it to where I do it in battle stance instead. Just because oftentimes I'm already in battle stance.
Reflect in any stance, right? It doesn't have to be defensive stance.
Only battle and defense, but I'm more often in battle stance.
Battle stance. Yeah.
So sometimes I don't lose rage, whereas if I go to defensive stance, I always use rage. My initial macro was just defensive stance, and I've since changed it to battle just because sometimes I might not lose all that rage. But yeah, so I do have that macro, but just knowing when to use it and knowing how to use it in a way to trick the caster to not, or to actually cast on you is something that I'm slowly learning, but it definitely is a slow burn.
Do you have to be facing the caster in order to reflect it?
No.
Wow. Okay.
At least I'm not sure. Now that you say that, I don't know.
I was just wondering because I've always been interested in warrior PvP. Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna test it out with Mel
Yeah.
dueling for the next time.
Yeah. I'm just wondering because I think that's the clutchest thing, dude. If you reflect a pyroblast or an EM chain lightning or something, like that would be
Dude, we have
so amazing.
so on our fives team, we have the guy that originally started the podcast with me, Steel Wolf, and then we have our guild GM Harskar's warrior there, and they always get the sickest reflex off, and I'm like, how did you do that, man?
Yeah.
I'm like so like, oh man, that was so cool. Like they change games with it, and it's just it's something that I struggle with so hard.
If you reflect a pyroblast, you can like kill a mage, right? If you reflect a EM chain lightning, that's the only burst that shaman may have, right? That's it. Like it's
Yeah,
or like it's the same thing
too.
with right. So it's the same thing with shaman and grounding totem. It's very similar actually. Because if I use my grounding at the right moment, I can do the same thing. I can take out the pyroblast. I can take out the chain lightning. The difference is you're doing damage back. Like that's even more of a
right.
You're not only taking that spell out of the game, you're reflecting that damage back on the team. So it's like
yeah, it's a
like
double
skill
whammy,
ceiling, right? The skill ceiling of a warrior, I think, and a druid is really high, right?
Yeah.
To come in, you can be pretty good without working super hard at it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not a huge learning curve. Like I could pick up druid and be okay, like no problem. Like there's certain classes I could not pick up and be okay at the beginning, right?
Yeah. But I don't envy either of you actually. I mean, like I think shaman's also really really crazy too.
Honestly, dude.
But I'm so used to playing it that
totems, I couldn't even.
Just as a full disclaimer, I think warrior is pretty easy to be a badass. It's just that actual final level
it's the finesse.
Is really hard. But I think druid. Like I don't know enough about Shammy to actually even say one way or the other. But druid,
I've played it so long
that
I don't really look at it as a really hard class to play. But druid and druids and
so
rogue.
many rogues. Yeah. There's so many different, even like locks too. Like there's just
locks.
So many different. You have to do something different for so many different things. Whereas warrior, usually you're training. You're
spamming hamstring to get the mace procs. You're mortal striking a target that needs to be killed. Yeah, true.
Just, there's so
I'm not
going to
try and sugarcoat it. Like I definitely enjoy the PvP on the warrior way more than I did a lock because I have to think about far less.
Right. There's so many situational things that change what you would do as a druid or as a rogue or as something else, right? Which makes it more complicated, but it also makes it fun. It's just you have to really focus on what you're going to learn and how to figure that out. But I think for me, let's move to everyone talking about what the population seems to be with TBC, right? So they put out the server populations.
Did you just transition?
Yeah, I transitioned us away. Yeah, we're almost at 2 hours with our no agenda. Remember?
Right,
famous last words.
Do you want to set this up or do you want me to?
You can set it up. Go for it.
Okay. So the reason that I put this in is because there's been so many doom and gloom YouTubers that just keep talking about TBC Classic dying and everybody quitting. And I just don't think it's true. So I pulled up numbers. So I pulled up Ironforge.pro. I looked at the Classic archive, which was Phase 6, and there were 215,000 people. If you round up, 216,000 people.
Oh, rating. Wow.
Okay. You go to TBC Classic. Wait, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying it's almost double.
Yeah, you go to TBC Classic now, and it's 388,000 people rating. So it's almost double. Maybe every one of the people that was rating in, Classic Nax has an alt now. That could be possible. you know, like I have one, but like
well, Classic's more all friendly than TBC.
I feel like we are getting. We're not looking at this data correctly. Okay.
Well, hold on. Let me finish.
No, let me clarify though.
Okay,
this
go
is
ahead.
from 1 week, from May 9th to May 16th in Classic, and it is from 1 week from September 1st to September 8th in TBC. This is not like the last phase of Classic.
May isn't when did Next come out?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Okay, so
that might be significant actually. Next Ramus
so it
release.
says data for reset though. So this was the last data taken, I believe.
Yeah, so this is not a good. She's right because like Next came out in December.
No. Oh, yeah. Nax came out in December. The TBC launched in June.
Yeah, so I think it's an accurate. I think that it's accurate for TBC. I think because like it's showing the current population, but the Classic one showing when Nax had already been out for 5 months.
Well, yeah, but
when everybody was taking a break before going to TBC,
can tell you though that those numbers are because I was watching it because I was like, oh, should we still be doing the podcast? Like, because like it was so like let me give you a little bit of an example. So there were like 500,000 people rating in BWL, like over 500K.
Yeah. Okay.
And then basically all through Nax, we were looking at that same 200,000, but it was even less than 200,000 in Nax.
Okay.
So
right.
like
wait. So are you saying that 500,000 was how many were playing when BWL came out, and then it went down to 200,000 after that, pretty consistently?
Yeah, basically it went down every single phase. Like the big drop off was AQ. Like people just dropped off. Like it just was no longer as popular.
Well, yeah, it sucked and it was easy.
Yeah. And I think like private server people always only played until that point. You know, like that's the point that they got bored, and like that's the point that stuff starts getting harder. Like it's the point that, you know, and then Nax comes out, things are really hard, consumes cost a fortune. So that was what we were ending with. But like we're back up in TBC to almost, you know, we're 150,000 out from how popular BWL was. And so
yeah, you're right, dude.
Just in one first phase.
This is surprising.
So I don't really think...
if you click on individual servers, you can see like their population.
Yeah, you can see like
all the way in 2019.
Yeah, and if you click on white main, like for instance, like
that's what I did.
You can see that like we're actually growing each week, and more people are raiding. Less people are PvPing, although PvP did get a huge spike just here recently. But like we're definitely like growing, and so it's weird for me. I think that the YouTubers just literally go on like their gut feeling.
They do. They don't do any research.
Yeah, there's definitely less people hanging out in chat or doing quests around the world, but that's how it always goes. People are raid logging, but people are still raiding. Like, I don't think that means the game's dead. I just think that means the game's in a different spot. And I don't get, like, I guess it's just good for YouTube clickbait. Like maybe I'll, you know, just name this episode TBC Classic is dying ? Like,
oh, if you did, it would get way more listens. It would.
It's crazy.
Why do you think I not that I didn't really care about my last video, but why do you think I called it I'm done with Classic WoW, like the Classic WoW content? Because I've learned through the years that the simplest, most rudimentary, stark title is what gets clicks. That's just the way it is. So like the advanced TBC Classic Shaman Guide, all that. If I called it the best Shaman Guide in the world, it probably would have got 10 times more views than it did. But I can't do that because I just don't. I can't name my content.
Like, that's not it.
Yeah, you could name it.
Yeah.
These 10 things to help you be the best.
Yeah. These three things you wouldn't believe would make you a better shaman. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
You should name it the top 3 things you need to know about a shaman, and then it goes into it, and you're like, there's actually 300. I mistitled that.
Yeah, sorry.
This
is 3.5 hours long. Yeah. But yeah, you're right, Keith. Like no one. You're absolutely right. Most of the. I'm not saying like people like Willie and people who actually do the research, but like
for sure,
most YouTubers don't do any research, and they just go with whatever the general consensus is. They'll just put out a video, call it this, and it's complete trash. And I'm sorry, but it is, and they just put out content, right?
And it feels like there's less people playing, or I know 10 people that have quit.
And there is less people out. Hello, puppy. There is less people out in the world because, like, what are they gonna do? Like, it makes sense that there's less people there, but if you're in a good guild, your guild has made like use of the different pings, the different roles that you can get, and you ping people. And they'll jump on, and you can get a dungeon going. Like this is something that MMOs didn't have back in the day. Like if people weren't on in guild, you're like, oh, okay, well, we'll go to our, if you were in a really good guild like we were, you had forums of people, and then you had all your different Ventrilo servers, and you jump on, and they would play other games really while they're in there, like.
Yeah.
But like that's what you need to do if you need to get a group going. You need to, like, when I set up PvP groups, I get good sized groups going, 5 to 10 people, but I'm finding those groups in Discord, not in the game.
Okay, but you know what I think is cool about this is that this is the first time that Ironforge.pro has done Warcraft logs and PvP leaderboards.
Yeah.
So you're actually capturing those people that just come in to play PvP that don't do raids and
which
I mean, I think the people that are most successful still at least do pug raids. Like that's the unfortunate
but after they
part.
after they get their gear that they need from those raids, I guarantee they're focusing more on arena, and they're not going and doing Kara every week. Right. And this is a week by week thing. So to capture everybody that's playing in that week, I think you have to do Warcraft logs and PvP leaderboards. It's just not anything that was available in Classic. Right. Because in Classic, PvP was like,
most people you're absolutely right. Most people, like, I don't know anyone who exclusively just PvP'd in Classic.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like nobody.
It's not really an option.
But you do have that. You do have a sub community that just PvPs in TBC. I don't know how big it is, but
it like literally wasn't an option in Classic because there just wasn't enough PvP gear to like actually.
Yeah, plus it got phased out too. Like
and the PvP gear wasn't even like resilience wasn't a thing. So it like you had to PvE to PvP in Classic.
Yes, you did. You absolutely did to get the best gear.
And like now you have to PvE a little bit to PvP in Classic, especially depending on your class. Like, but it is interesting because I think the only reason they can do that is because they have an actual API for Arena. I don't think BGs have an API, and so I don't think you can pull data from it.
Yeah,
I guess my question would be though, is it advanced enough to like break apart doubles, right? Somebody that rated and is on the PvP leaderboard.
It does, yeah. It breaks it apart by your name because everybody has to have a unique name on each server, so it's breaking up by name.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm really glad you want to talk about this because I would have guessed it was the opposite, 100%. Right? Like,
and why is that?
Not because of the mostly because of the allegations. And the sorry, I keep saying allegations. They're not allegations at this point, right? They've been proven that they happened, but and the state of retail and everything. Not because of like TBC's sucks or anything like that. Just
Right.
because of Blizzard, I would have guessed that it was less. Yeah.
I will say our listenership has definitely gone down since that point, at least according to chartable.com, which is how we get our numbers from Spotify and iTunes. And so, we're still like weekly on the top 200 list, but we were like, when TBC first came out, we were like popping up there and like number 86 on all gaming podcasts, and
but I think you see that as the phase goes on, right? Like people are really excited.
It could be.
And then it dips and maybe it'll go back up, right? Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with that. Maybe you're correlating that and it's not causation.
And I am super interested to see, because we've had a recent spike over the last like week. I wonder if the new phase is going to bring more excitement back and numbers will go up again. But either way, we didn't start this podcast to do numbers. We started it to talk about World of Warcraft. It's just cool when a lot more people listen. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're using your time well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And
does it though?
I think it's going to go even higher for Wrath.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see numbers that surprisingly, I think it's going to be higher than we think, because there are a ton of Wrath babies that want to play Wrath again. A ton.
And Wrath was my favorite time, so...
dude, I loved it too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people talk smack on it, but I am super excited for that. And I don't want to rush TBC, but I'm definitely excited for Wrath.
Oh, same. I think on paper, TBC is the best out of all three of them. Like just on paper, not like feels or emotions. But emotionally, I think Wrath and Classic are my favorite.
I think Wrath, emotionally for some, is like the beginning of the end, though, right? Like Wrath opens up a door that becomes something bigger, and they can't take that away from their feelings about Wrath. You know what I mean?
But it went out with a bang, right? We killed the Lich King. I think that's like that was the peak. You killed the Lich King. Where can you can't go any higher than that. Where you go from there? And we saw that in the subs. You went and never got back there. Never,
Go down.
Yeah.
Is where you go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I want to point out is you're on Scarum, right?
Yes.
It's now 100% Horde. Like there's no even like splinter cells of Alliance.
So I don't know how accurate this is, because I see Alliance still sometimes. Maybe they're just not raiding. They're just not raiding.
Yeah.
They're just not raiding.
Which means they're not PvPing too, probably.
Yeah.
They're just there to annoy you.
They're just there to just be there. Yeah. So the new thing they started to do, the 5 or 6 that are left, they go to Orgrimmar and kill NPCs. And then you see Orgrimmar's under attack, and then that's the only Alliance I've ever seen now is in Orgrimmar.
Like, oh no. Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Orgrimmar's under attack. Sorry, Thrall, we're on Shatwrath.
Yeah.
Like like what are we gonna do? So
oh gosh.
But I just wanted to point that out, because I really don't think it's dying. I think it's a lot of doom and gloom from YouTubers, and I really
you should make
don't
a white
think
main
it's
character just to come over and PvP, world PvP with us.
I really want to make one. It's just a time commitment. I have to. Yeah.
Well, you haven't used a boost. You could just go down that dark road. You've already played Shaman, so if you boosted to Shaman, would you really feel bad about it?
No, you're right. I've already leveled a Shaman. That's my rite of passage is done, I guess. Plus, it's an Alliance character, so it's like, no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Like, of course I boost an Alliance character.
But I really wanted to experience the
I would never disgrace the Horde like that, but Alliance...
I love leveling. I think leveling is so fun.
Me too. I have been playing... If anybody... No, I don't want to, detract from WoW, but I guess... I have been, in my downtime, I have been playing the Master Chief Collection. I just found out recently that they re-released all the Halos.
Oh, dude, I've got that downloaded on my Xbox. I keep thinking about trying it out.
Oh, so it's the Halo. It's like all the Halos, like Halo 1 through 4 on one package.
How bad I am at Halo?
I don't know. I just... The nostalgia... I just replayed Halo 1 with my brother. Bro, the nostalgia... there's a co-op, too, so we played together. And, man, I'm sorry, man. The nostalgia was just unreal.
Is it available on PC now?
Yeah, can you play? That's what I'm playing on.
Okay, so that would be interesting to try, because I never got to do that. Like I always had to play on console. And dude, you're talking to the guy that when I was a server and in college, I would get all of the people that worked at the new theater restaurant in Overland Park, Kansas. It was this really nice like dine-in theater, and we were servers there. So I'd get a bunch of servers to come over to my house. I had two Xboxes. My roommates between them had two other Xboxes. We'd get a hub. We'd connect 4 Xboxes.
Oh.
Beyond 4 TVs. We would pick teams 8 on 8. Some of the most fun gaming we've ever had in our entire lives. A whole bunch of servers coming over. We do these 8 on 8 challenges. There was no lag because this was at the time where if you wanted to do Halo online, you'd have to go through GameSpy is this old program, and it was tunnel, like it was definitely slow. Like there was definitely lots of lag. But you get 16 people in your big ass apartment that you have 4 other roommates in, and you start doing these games, and people are just like having the time of their freaking lives, dude.
I know, dude.
And it was like the birth of like that online gaming, but it was like you're all there. And then we had like numbers we'd pull out of a hat to see what team you were on, and it was so much fun.
He says he did this when he was a server. He also had a party like this when we were dating, when we like first started dating, right? And he's like, well, you play WoW now. Here, play Halo. And I'm like, hey, mouse, keyboard? Yeah, this thing? Nope. Nope, not gonna happen.
Mel spent a lot of times looking at the ground. But she was good.
I spent a lot of time with Bob being like, why are you looking there? Look up. And I'd like zoom it up and he'd be like, no, look down. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah, you're just like you're guys gonna like this. Like, I think no bullshit here. I think the game that is second in my life that has provided the most fun are the Halo franchise games, and I haven't played them in so long because and I'm doing 5s, and my buddy Subspace, who's our hunter, is like, oh, I think I'm gonna go play some Master Chief Collection tonight, and I'm so out of loop with so many things, Bob, and I was like, sorry, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's all the Halos in like one package, and I'm like, I'm sorry, can you say that one more time? And so he's like, and I downloaded it and I'm like, I've been playing it not so much because there's a graphics toggle for Halo 1 and Halo 2. They upped all the graphics for Halo 1 and Halo 2. Like, bro, I hate to talk about this on a WoW podcast, but I've been having so much fun playing Halo.
Dude, okay, so I didn't realize I could do it on PC. I have the PC Xbox game package, so I get all those games. So I should be able to download it. Like that's how I have Sea of Thieves and all
Steam.
that.
That's how I did it. Yeah.
You want to play co-op with me, Bob?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Although, if you want to talk about other games, you should definitely check out Sea of Thieves, Melderon.
It's so fun.
Sea of Thieves. It's basically, it's not an MMO. It's like you'll get on a server and you can be on a server with like 20 or 30 other people, but there's different boats. There's a boat that's just a 2-man boat. There's a boat that's a 3-man boat. There's a boat that's a 4-man boat. And you're literally sailing. Like you have to use the wind. You have to use your sails, put them up and down, drop anchor.
You're a pirate.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. You get to be a pirate. Yo ho ho.
But it's only fun if you have other people playing with you.
Sail the 7
seas, and we kill people, and it's
okay.
fun.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it looks interesting.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun. And if you have that like Microsoft game package, it is free, and we have so much fun on that game. Even just talking like a pirate, arr, matey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Bob. So much fun. Yeah, it's probably, and then I'd sing shanties, But
okay, I'll look. Yeah, because I know Def's is trying to build a repertoire of stuff he wants to stream.
Dude, Sea of Thieves could be a fun
he would be so
thing
funny
to stream.
streaming that game. Oh my god!
Just promise me.
Send him. No, send him. Who's the guy that
Tim
streams
the-
that game? That's hilarious.
Well, no, Tim the Tatman's initial
yeah.
playing of it was probably the funniest thing I've seen, like on streaming
100%.
highlights. But because he's just screaming and the big boats, like because you have to repair the boat, you have to shoot cannons. Like, dude, I don't even know how to explain it to you. Like, the content of the game is like really what you make of it, because like, and you can attack anybody and take their bounty. Kill them and you take their bounty.
You can go on quests.
But the real people that you're attacking or the NPCs? Yeah. Oh wow.
Both.
Okay.
I mean, there's NPCs you get loot from, but then like say somebody's been out getting loot and they have all the loot on their boat and you
sink
them.
It's
so it is an MMO.
Kind of, but like you're on a server with like 30 people max.
It's just, I see.
MMO. So like it could be 3-4 man boats, 2-man boats.
Multiplayer. Okay, got it.
Yeah. It's an MMO.
And like if they're sailing back with their stuff and you get in front of them and you sink them, then you go and you grab all their shit and you fucking take it and then you go sell it. Like you get the money for it.
Right, but you have to have jobs like on the ship, right? Like somebody has to drive and maneuver, somebody has to shoot the cannon, somebody has to repair the holes.
You got your helmsman and your bilge rat.
Wow.
Yeah, I told them they couldn't call me the bilge rat. Like that wasn't fair.
Mel loves to repair the ship and throw buckets of water out.
No, Mel does not love to repair the ship. Mel just knows if she doesn't repair the ship sinks because nobody else is going to repair it.
Sounds like a healer.
Does this actually happen in real life? I was just joking.
Yes.
Sounds like a healer. It sounds like a healer is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
she's like healing the ship. But you have to promise me one thing. If you and Def Camp are going to play it, please wait for your first time to play it and invite Mel and I to come on that journey, because it will be so much fun. Like showing you how you can shoot yourself out of a cannon and just all the different things are so so one of the big things when you're PvPing, we're an after show right now, is you have to like you'll have one person that's the guy that tries to board the other ship. So he'll shoot himself out of a cannon trying to like land on the ship or land in front of the ship so he can grab the ladder as the ship goes by. Then he gets on, tries to throw the anchor, because if the anchor goes down, it takes a second for people like to bring it back up. Like all 4 people on a 4-man ship or 3-man ship, like all people can move it, but one person moves it at a snail's pace. So there's a lot of teamwork, but like a ship that's not moving is a ship that's dead in the water, because cannonballs are going to be easy to hit. So there's so much to the game. You definitely, if you and Def Camp try it, like let me know. I'm pretty sure even if you don't get the Xbox Pass, I think you can buy it for like $20 now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
But
I spent 30, awesome. I spent 40 for Master Chief, and that was well worth it. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got on a tangent there, but I couldn't help it. Halo, Sea of Thieves, both are great. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, do you have anything else you wanted to talk about with World of Warcraft? Anything that's been bugging you?
Covered a lot.
Yeah, we did.
I'm good.
All right. Well, then let's. Do we have an add-on of the week? Do you have an add-on you want to share, Melderon?
I have to look at my list. I don't even know. Like nothing new that I use, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see if I've got
weak. Like 90% of my add-ons are weak auras.
I know weak auras are so good.
Or LDUI. That's what I use most of. Yeah.
Threat plates. You which add-ons are broken right now. Community DKP makes you run really slow when you reload, and Gathermate sometimes gives you this black box. And apparently, Steve told me it's when you hit O, it gives you this error, and if you don't accept the error and reload, it like puts this black box in your screen. It's really annoying.
You guys know about SafeQueue?
What's that?
Oh, here. All right. Yeah. Then if you got one, let's move on to the add-on of the week.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this. This is an add-on called SafeQueue that basically takes the place of, when you like BG or Arena pops that like thing hits okay or whatever. And it's supposed to like get you in and it won't like hang up because of an add-on issue or anything like that. I don't know if you've ever experienced if you hit like go into BG like it doesn't work and you have to reload. I don't know if you've ever had that problem. Apparently this bypasses that. It's called SafeQueue, but it works pretty well. I've never had issues with it, and it's just to install it and it starts working immediately, and it replaces the box. It's like a different box. It says,
And so it's probably just like, because right now all I do is I just right click. I don't even click anything in the box that pops in the middle. I just right click the thing.
So
on
you
the
don't
side.
have to do that anymore. With this, you can just click the box.
Oh, that's huge. Because like it can be a huge. It's not a huge problem to do a / reload before getting into a BG because you have 2 minutes.
But
arena, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah,
and it can literally hold you out of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll be multitasking, doing something on my other screen, and I don't have it so sound is on when I'm on my other screen, and I'll look back and I'll be like, "What, guys? Sorry."
Yep.
And I had to tell them. I always yell above them, like, "You have to say, Q popped Mel, Q popped Mel. Like, you're in the arena, I'm not there. Like, come on."
We've definitely like turned into like people go Q pop, Q pop, Q pop, Q pop, Q pop.
I know, because of me, but every time you don't do it, like every time you do it, I'm already in. Like I'm like already on it, right? Every time you don't do it, I miss it. It's fine.
I just linked it to you, Bob, if you want to add it to the show notes or something.
Sweet.
I think you're muted, Bob.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm actually gonna add that tonight because like that'll make life a lot easier because I'd rather just click that box.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, it's been a good show, but we're going to have to end it out now. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. If you want to send us your stories, you can do so by sending them to wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join our Discord, you can do so by going to mash.gg/Discord. If you talk in there, you got to ping us because it's still just not very active. So if it's active, we will use it a lot more, but it's just not at the moment. So make sure to ping us if you say anything. Everybody just ends up sending me DMs, which
slide into your DMs, eh?
Yeah. It'd be better if they ask questions in a general forum where, everybody benefits from it. You know what I mean? All right, how can you help the show? Well, the best way to help the show is just tell people about the show. That is the best way. Link it in your guild Discord. But if you want to help us a little further for like Google algorithms and stuff like that, leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts works out really well. You can also leave a review at warcraftradio.com/directory. We actually have quite a few reviews there, which is cool because yeah, it's like one where you actually have to log in with your BNet account, and so it's pretty cool. But yeah, that being said, we're gonna get out of here. Where can we find you, Melderon?
I don't really make content anymore, but Def Camp and Melderon TV is on YouTube, and it's a repertoire of 400-ish videos I've made over the last 4 or 5 years about Classic WoW. They might be helpful to you, or you might enjoy them. Twitter I don't really check or use, but it's at def_meltv, and then Def Camp will be making a return to streaming, and you can find him either on Def Camp Melderon TV on YouTube or twitch.tv/defcamp.
You might be able to catch a stream with me and Mel playing Sea of Thieves with them. I've been really excited about that. We have to do that because Sea of Thieves, I'm telling you, man, it is fun.
Fair.
Check it out.
All right, and Mel, where can we find you?
I thought you were gonna forget about me. I was gonna wait until you just moved on with life. You can find me at Mel Overwatch on Twitter, probably not, or you can find me in game on Melarina or Arielina. Thank you to all the people that reach out to me and not Bob. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I never forget about you. I sometimes forget about myself. The last time Melderon was on, we had played at Comic-Con and had to get back to it. And I was editing the end product and realized, oh, I didn't give my socials. That's funny. But if you do want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Blazzin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. I'll probably stream sometime soon, maybe-ish, at twitch.tv/BlazzinBob. Streaming sucks, man. Streaming is so hard.
Yeah,
like
it is.
Especially if you're hanging out with people.
That's why I stopped doing it.
Yeah, you're hanging out with people you want to talk to, but then you feel bad because chat's asking questions, and you're just like, dang it. And then everybody's making fun of you for your play, and you're just like, okay, come on.
The best way I've explained streaming and how it made me feel is like now I know what animals in zoos feel like. I think that's kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of how I feel the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, that is really good.
Bob always tried to get me to stream with him, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I thought like having both of our cams would have been a fantastic stream, especially when she's yelling at me while we're leveling and stuff.
Or animals in the circus. Sorry, I just realized that's another way of looking at it. Like, do this now, monkey. Do it now. You know what I mean? Like,
me and Bob leveling together would have been a circus, animals in a circus show right there. Yeah, what it would have been.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for spending your time with us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
We can stop, right?
Yes, you can stop the recording. Yeah. The stream's still active. Anybody small time we can jump to. I don't know. So many people that I don't know on my on my list here. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't have anybody really to here. Yeah, we'll raid Baba Share Show. He is an interesting character. If you haven't checked out his interview with Josh Corbett on the Countdown to Classic feed, you should definitely check it out because they're drinking beers the whole time, taking bathroom breaks, and it's pretty good. It's long, but pretty good.
Oh, throw that link when you get a chance. I got to run as soon as I have to use the restroom and get something to eat.
Yeah, you're good.
I just need a link from Bob. I want to let my thing upload while I'm going to AFK.
Hold on. I don't know. Are we off?